Are we just meant to be sat here in silence?
Shut it.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, are you kidding me? That shit. Right in the deer hole. Little fuck.
You have just come in from a hard day's work, and you put on your silk nightie and slip between the sheets for a well-deserved rest. But what is this? It's midnight. Your window open, a breeze filters in, and a dark, mysterious stranger enters. Who is he? Why is he here? He shouldn't be, but you don't mind. What he's leaving on the side by your bed? Why? It is a box of milk tray chocolates. You wake up and he's gone. But the chocolates are still there. Oh well. Better tuck in. Maybe he'll finger you with his penis.
No!
Cause I'm probably late. Friday night radical lights and highly organized. It's Friday night tights, Friday night tights. Time has come, they are finally here. Oh, hail Friday night tights. We're not affiliated, just so we're clear.
Yep. What up, everybody? It's Friday, the day that comes after Thursday, the day that comes before Saturday. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from my mom's vagina, and this is Friday Night Tights. And it's a very special episode of Friday Night Tights. No, not that we get to talk about another Marvel movie. We have somebody has come back from the dead.
Couldn't stay away, you could say.
Couldn't stay away. He missed us too much. He missed you too much.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Indeed.
Terrence Von Higginbottom.
Welcome back, Az.
I just came back to say the N word, so you can all just fuck off. You massive.
Let's go.
It's an easy house.
We can.
Hey,
Where the hell are you? Like you look like you're in
Look, I'm in an empty room. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you can see
sad.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Very
bouncing off
echoey.
everything that
Couch
it could
behind you.
possibly
Yeah,
bounce
posters
off.
aren't very good soundproofing, dude. Okay.
Don't worry. This Sunday afternoon tea with us, we'll do a drive. We'll do a drive to get tables and chairs and statues and very expensive things to put on. Whatever.
Yeah. You can,
Hey,
If you
I
say
went
the
to see-
N
I
word,
went
you
to
can get
see-
enough money to pay for all of that. So
I saw.
Yeah,
the
where's our
Thunderbolts-
money?
I saw the Thunderbolts yesterday, and I
Oh.
was actually surprised to see that they had a popcorn bucket.
They did.
I didn't think they did. And I'm not trying to be cruel to the Thunderbolts, but there was a lot of them. So I picked one up.
oh.
Yes.
Bro, they got a million Snow White ones.
Bro,
left.
so many.
Yeah.
Up there, yeah.
That's
They
great for
say-
puking into.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are barf buckets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
But yeah, I'm trying to work out which. There's too many Thunderbolts here. There's one.
It's an asterisk. That's the logo. So.
Yeah,
Ah.
the star.
Sup, bitches?
Yeah, Az's audio
We
is a
missed
little low.
you.
Beg pardon.
Speak for yourself, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, what's
You
his
lost
name?
weight.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought I was X-ray guild trying to speak English.
Ching chong bing bong.
Mimi too.
Oh, Az, you look very good. You lost the weight.
You lost weight like progress loses time.
You lost weight in your head.
Yeah, I shaved this morning. Actually, bit of a hippie.
Oh my god. Some things just never change, do they? Okay.
I'll just wait to interrupt Jeremy now.
Jeremy's like, oh shit, man. As soon as I say something, I'm gonna start
every
saying the
fucking time.
Yep.
All I want to say is the N
Wait,
word.
sorry,
Get
sorry.
paid. All I want to say it. I just want to say. Let me say it as.
Nerdrotic.
I want to get a couple $100,000. Okay.
Oh.
I think the crazy thing is when I first saw this story going around, it's like woman catches black child stealing out of her purse and screams the N-word at him. I just assumed it happened at Chuck E. Cheese, like based on some of my experiences there. But no, it's the middle of a park.
I was at the playground all day with the baby, just looking for a
Would it have
black.
been Papa John's?
Trolling. Wait.
Yeah, I was like, I need money. Where are the blacks?
Speaking of the N
Papa
you
John's
need to
not
wait.
happy right now.
Christy, that's a video right there. Just go to the park, vlog it. You're like, where's the blacks? I need to make money.
I want to go fund me.
I had my purse open and everything.
Speaking of sponsors,
Speaking of the N-word, free speech is under attack, but Rumble refuses to back down. We've always believed in empowering voices, no matter what they say or how unpopular. And now we're taking that fight to the next level when major advertisers conspire to pull their dollars. Even brands like Dunkin' Donuts turn their back, claiming Rumble had a right-wing culture. But we're not here to fit the mold. We're here to defend free expression, like you've seen on the internet, and people are willing to pay for it. To strengthen this mission, we're excited to offer Rumble Premium, a completely ad-free experience with exclusive benefits for viewers and creators. You find exclusive content from creators like Russell Brand, Dr. Disrespect, Timcast, and the Mug Club with Crowder, who rated Geeks and Gamers Daily today. Well done.
Damn.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a little applause for that.
Very nice.
shout out.
It's more than a subscription. It's a stand for free speech. Your voice matters. Join Rumble Premium for a limited time. You can get $10 off an annual plan using promo code Nerdrotic. Visit rumble.com/Nerdrotic and claim your discount today. Together we can turn the tide. Whether you join Rumble Premium or you simply keep watching, your support helps keep free speech alive.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I had a better transition, but I decided to dial it back a little.
You beg pardon?
Yeah, even when you started thinking about it, Gary, there was about a 41% chance that it would off itself before you
Oh, is it 41% or 43%, Ryan?
It goes up and down.
It's in between, yeah.
I'm trying to be generous. Like
pre-op or post-op?
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what the percentages are for that. Well, you know,
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Yeah, it's
change.
the same.
we're
barely
going
any
to talk a lot about mental health today and why it's so important.
it is so important
Biggest
to
conversation we're
to
having.
say
It's
you're
so
really
important
sad
to
over
run
and
away
over
from
again.
your problems.
Yeah, run away from your problems, say you're sad, have no resolution to them whatsoever, and look at them in the most superficial way ever. Way to go, Marvel! Thunderbolts!
Don't Thunderbolts, okay?
I liked
thought
it
it was
too.
good. I thought it was good. It's
like it too.
entertaining. It's not nearly now. I will say I need to see it again because I was sailing when I was watching it. So it was a little
Sailing.
I was sailing, so it was a little hard to hear it. The camera was
That
moving
doesn't prove
around a
Marvel
little
movies.
bit. The camera was moving around a little bit, and there was these ads that kept popping up, and I was like,
You had a random
Gambling at the
Indian,
same time.
like a random Indian would appear. And
Yeah.
start
yeah,
speaking.
This casino.
Indians
I
like
wish they
throwing
cut him from the
dice.
movie.
I am
Were you on
actually
the same boat?
sweating under here.
Were you on the same
I've
boat? as I
just
was?
heard. I might have been. I just heard
Okay.
rumors that Indians
Interesting.
sail the high seas as well.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's the
Yeah,
quality
you-
of Hollywood. we're
both
in
of you
right
were
now, is
both of
even-
you were the cabin boys on that boat. Okay.
You are
Even,
such
even
great
sailing the
seamen.
high seas, the quality is getting worse and worse. I miss the old ads that would pop up with the black dude that would put all the stuff in the blender.
Yeah.
No, I think they're getting pretty clever with it. Like they put it on the phone and then they zoom out and stuff.
Yeah.
They're getting way better.
There's sometimes I think it's part of the movie.
yeah.
Till the
great 'cause
Flash shows
sometimes
up.
it'll be like a super fucking serious moment. It's like, hey, Tom, like really wants me to do some like Indian sports gambling or something.
But no, I did. I liked Thunderbolts. I enjoyed it, and
It wasn't
I
the
thought it.
worst
I thought it started out very slow, and I was very much like, "Why the fuck am I even watching this shit?" But once it got rolling, man, I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's great, but I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I have a very low bar for Marvel movies and Marvel productions in general at this point in time. But I thought the characters were good. I thought Bucky and Red Guardian specifically, I thought their chemistry was great. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any major complaints about it.
Okay, I've got a major
I'm the same
complaint.
way.
I got a lot of major complaints.
I thought the acting was
good,
this
too.
off my chest. Like the ending pissed me off to no end. You know, do you want to guess why, Gary? Why the ending pissed me off?
You're gonna jump right to the end?
No vampires.
No
Don't
consequences.
spoil it.
It's
Edward
not really a
Cullen didn't
spoiler.
turn
We
up.
were talking about that they would do this switch in the last FNT. It's like, it's not the friggin' Thunderbolts. It's not even a friggin' single character from the Thunderbolts.
No.
And now they're just blown their load.
And
We'll never get a proper Thunderbolts anything. I love the Thunderbolts. No Thunderbolts
So,
anywhere now.
Shad-
it's the friggin' new Avengers. you
Shad,
bastard.
Marvel
And
was
they
looking
pushed
out
it
for
that
you.
too. Oh,
Marvel
pissed
didn't want to waste your time reading all those really good comics. They wanted you to waste your time watching the D+ slop that you would have to watch this movie.
And like they don't have anyone from the original cast of the new Avengers, even though there's people in the MCU that could do it. And they decide, no, guess what? Sorry, the Thunderbolts. Then they switch to the new Avengers, and there's one person from the new Avengers cast that appears, and they butchered him as well. My favorite part of the new Avengers was the Sentry, and he was just,
I like the Sentry. I thought
Bobby
Bob
was
was a
great.
good
That was the
character.
best
I
scene.
like the
he was the
voice.
best part of the movie,
Bill
but it
Pullman
still
was the
wasn't
best
nearly
part.
as good as
Him.
the Sentry
But
could be. The Sentry.
I
Look,
think-
look,
I think
I
Shad-
also enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I don't
I've
have any
always liked
connection
Quarter Black
to-
Garrett. I never thought you were gay. I never
Yeah,
thought you were
yeah.
gay.
You have a black friend, at least a little bit.
Quarter of
I
one.
like the movie. I don't have any connection to the comic books. I didn't read the comic books. I don't know any of the characters from it, so I don't have that attachment. So I understand if you do have an attachment to that, you could be pissed. But for me, I liked Bucky. I did like Bucky. He was kind of underutilized. I wish he was more. He was in the movie more. Bob was a good character. I did like the mental health part of it. Oh, I did like it. I think it could have gone deeper, but the problem with MCU and the MCU slop is you can't have I was talking about it before. they were saying this is an A24 movie and it's all about mental health. You can't do that in the MCU because they're going to connect it to all the other garbage. So anything connected outside of this movie, the simple story, it's a simple story about these 5 people or however many. Anytime it connects outside, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, it's connected to that garbage. It's connected to that garbage. So that part does hold it down. But I like the characters. I like their interplay. I like the mind ending. I didn't say all the characters, did I? I liked a lot of the characters.
You said the characters.
I liked the characters, which doesn't imply some or all or none.
Yeah, I liked Red Guardian. He was more likable in this than he was in Black Widow. I liked Bucky. I liked Bob. I liked even Yelena. I thought she was fine. I think she's a good actor. All of the cast did a good job in their roles. I don't think it's a super deep movie.
No, it's not.
But I didn't really go in expecting literally anything. So
I think it's a movie that's enjoyable, way deeper than it is.
Yes.
I don't like it like you guys do. I also probably don't hate it as much as a couple other people on this panel. I thought it was very meh. I thought it was very meh. Better than Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah,
for sure.
But still in that kind of like 4.5, 5 type of threshold.
That's fair.
And I think there are some good moments in it. You know, the idea of all these people, and Yelena goes on her tangent about we're losers, we lost, blah blah blah, we can't do this. And then, you know, Red Guardian gives her what I thought was a good moment between them. And you know, I don't see all your mistakes when I look at you, that type of thing. And then they all in their own individual things save people as all this stuff is falling and everybody claps. And it's like all these people that have been through all this shit to have people clapping for them and they get that little bit of recognition and stuff. I thought that was a very good moment.
Yeah, I agree there. I think that was probably the best moment of the
week.
I thought it was
there weren't a lot of black people in this movie either. So
No.
yeah,
Ghost, just saying.
Not out of 10.
Was there? I
Just
guess.
saying. Okay. So
The first
I think
time
just
I tried to watch this movie, I kept falling asleep. So I don't know if that's a me problem or a movie problem, but I feel like the main point from a normie perspective is in order to care about any of these characters, you need to have seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Black Widow movie that no one saw, and I think Ant-Man and the Wasp.
and Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye, right. So if you're not up to date on all that, it's going to be hard to know what's going on here.
Yeah, I did have to lean over to my son and go like, that was in a TV show and this blah, 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 blah.
Well, as someone that hasn't watched a lot of this
issue.
shit, so I didn't see Black Captain America. I haven't seen almost any of the MCU or Disney Plus fucking shows. So a lot of it, obviously, you guys talk about enough on this panel, so a lot of those pieces I could kind of figure out. But like, I don't know anything about Black Captain America because fuck him. All right, fuck him forever. He should have never been Captain America. So I watched it thinking Bucky should have gotten the shield at the end of Endgame. How much better would this have been if Bucky was the central focus? You know, and so I didn't.
Hot.
I don't know about that.
Even with
but
his bob?
he's great as a character, huh?
Even with his bob haircut, Chrissy.
He's a middle-aged woman. His
What the
middle-aged
hell? He
mom
looks like
bob.
Amelie.
That was a bad
Fucking.
I have a theory on this. I think there were reshoots that they didn't talk about because
There was
Bucky's hair
his
changes.
changed length, and so does Bob's. Bob's hair changed
It
lengths
changes.
too. Yeah.
I'm okay with a change in length. Just don't mess with the girth.
Overall, I thought the acting was done very well. The fight scenes were pretty decent. I hated the end of the movie because there's like zero fucking consequences for the actions of what you consider to be the main villain. And it reminds me of things like WandaVision and a lot of the other MCU stuff where you don't have a proper villain that basically gets to come up and set the end.
And that's kind of with a lot of these characters who Ghost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ghost was, and this was kind of one of the starting of these things where we started to see these characters that they're villains, but they're not really villains.
They're
You should feel so bad
misunderstood.
for them.
Yes.
The reason she's doing this is because she was taken advantage of by this experiment that went wrong, and she was just trying to survive. And like that was the resolution for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's where Ghost comes in. So Ghost
and the
isn't
message
really
there
presented-
is a woman trying to survive in a man's world, and that's
Yes.
why
Right.
they gender swapped the character as well. So she was
and
one of the
that's
first ones where they took the mask off and it's a
Yeah.
girl. Whoa.
And that's like the thing when it comes to these characters. I've seen a lot of people like trying to compare this to Suicide Squad, that like Marvel made a better version of Suicide Squad than DC did. But to me, those are actually villains in Suicide Squad, where in this, none of these characters are really villains.
Yeah.
And like why would Black Widow be considered a villain, really? Red Guardian, okay, maybe a long fucking time ago during the Cold War or something. John Walker didn't do anything wrong. And the idea that all these
did
people
nothing
are
wrong.
Walker never did anything wrong.
That pissed me off.
That
That
wasn't John
pissed me
Walker.
off.
I don't know who the fuck this character was, but that wasn't fucking John Walker in this show, in this film.
Yeah, and
that was not the John Walker that was in the
TV
TV show.
Yeah.
This was some fucking utter bum who all of them just had a big fucking dictionary of movie lines to say, and they just flicked a regular fucking random page, said a line, passed the book to somebody, they'd fucking flick it to a page, say a random fucking line. The script was fucking garbage. From start
they
to
basically
fucking
said
finish.
he killed an innocent man, and that's not the case. In the show, he killed the guy that killed his partner.
A terrorist.
He killed a terrorist.
He killed a terrorist that had just killed his fucking. They've been part of a group that just killed his
to make
partner.
it clear, in some states, if you're accomplice to murder, like I know a dude, sorry to go dark here for you, was sitting in a car during a murder, and he's in prison for the rest of his life because he was sitting in a car and his buddies went in and murdered. Like he didn't even know, so it wasn't like a premeditated thing. Didn't matter. Got thrown away for life.
Damn.
Well, the entire thing with this.
So you're an accomplice, and this guy was worse, by the way.
Well, yeah, the line that she says to John Walker is he publicly murdered an innocent man, and I was like pissed off.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
Are you insane?
Yeah, that's what brings it. Those are the things that I don't like about the movie. So I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable enough because I like the characters and I like the way they played off of each other, and I like the Void. The things that I didn't like was the connections to all the other garbage that led up to this.
Agreed.
The John Walker stuff, the lines like that. There's little lines in here that did annoy me, like oh, we measured our dicks and stuff like that. But like,
oh, you measured their tiny dicks. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't even care about
that. But that is like
I do because she's a hobbit. Any dick's gonna be big to her.
Those are lines that could be in any movie from the 80s.
Oh, she's cute. She's cute. Yeah. I'm not gonna say she's ugly.
Hot.
That's crazy.
She's hot.
I think she's also likable outside of that. Like she hasn't ever said anything. She hasn't said anything about fans or anything. She seems to be likable.
Yeah, I got nothing against her.
Likable person.
She's just short.
But yeah,
she's a good actress, but they're given her garbage to work with.
Yeah.
The stage Russian accent is bad. Like I'm tired of
something in that film. There was something in this film which could have been good, but as per Marvel, they couldn't for any instance let things sit. They couldn't let the film have a consistent tone. They had to fucking stick absolute trash lines in. They had to make the females always belittle the men. Walker was a fool. Red Guardian's a fucking fool. Bucky comes in and just says nothing because they don't want to demean him, but they don't want to elevate him. So he just stands there and does
This
nothing.
goes way back with them. Like there has got to be some marketing or some analytics or something out there that says, do not stay on a sad scene too long. It might make people feel sad, and we need to follow it up with a joke. You can go back to when Odin died in Ragnarok, and it doesn't come up with a joke, but they don't let the scene sit, and it just moves. Or when Asgard is fucking destroyed, and there's a fucking joke after it, just after it.
One of the towers. Oh, it's still up in the tower.
So in this one, Ryan was talking about, there's like a genuinely good moment where Red Guard, you've seen it. They put the fucking clip out there, which is terrible. Where, the full speech where he kind of like brings her out of the darkness. It gives her a good like fatherly speech. And I'm like, God, that was good. Oh, boom, here comes the bad guy. Like, let it sit for a beat, maybe two. And it's like, this happens all the time. It happened a lot, even in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Volume 3. Where things were allowed to breathe a little bit in the first one. That's your difference. There feels like that, you want to push this mental health thing. And they even opened the movie with Florence Pugh looking sad and jumping off a building.
You thought she was doing a therapy session.
But
it turns out she was giving one to the random doctor that was in there. Yeah.
Well, she was. But it was just
I just want to say I'm glad Gary said James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. I would have never known what Guardians of the Galaxy were talking about.
Without
God, I'm in such a bad habit now. James Gunn's James Gunn, Volume 3.
That's in the title. James Gunn's Superman.
Sentry and Void could have been like.
I felt for the marketing.
I felt like it could have been like, we see the one clip of Sentry, the fight scene with Sentry, and It was pretty, like, I do think some of it, the CGI looked pretty rough at parts.
It was, yeah, he was like, yeah, he was Rubber Man.
But in principle, the fight itself and all of them doing everything they can and it meaning absolutely nothing to him.
That was my
my
favorite scene.
Fucking cool character.
That was good.
Yeah,
we got him for about 5 minutes. We got him for about 5 minutes, and then he turns into Void. And for the resolution to be all these broken people overcoming their sadness to lift somebody else who's broken in their embrace, it was just it's just a little cringeworthy to me.
It was so.
And I just wish we had a villain.
I thought that was totally fine. I don't know. I wish it went
further. That's
deeper
the thing.
into the story.
They focused on the relationships.
They didn't focus on.
They hadn't focused on them.
No, they didn't focus on it. Like, they set up John Walker, no resolution. They didn't even set up Ghost. They didn't set up Red Guardian and Bucky. They made sure to put a sentence in. Oh, they're yeah, I've already dealt with all my shit, so I'm good. You know, it's like, come on.
I think there's a lot on the cutting room
I felt like
floor.
there was more. There was a lot more.
It feels like there was a lot more. It felt short. There was.
It's an incomplete movie. It's an incomplete movie. It just, again, what did this just happen to? It just fucking ends. It just ends. It doesn't really end. It stops.
The ending was jarring.
We're going to rescue. You're the new Avengers. We're not going to rescue anymore because we're the Avengers.
There's like 5 or 6 things that I can think of off the top of my head they set up that they do not like. They show Julia Louis-Dreyfus as fucking Madam Hydra. She's not Madam Hydra.
The most
Hydra.
annoying character in the movie.
The most annoying character in the movie. They show her dark past.
Primary school teacher.
And what's the point of that? To make it, oh, well, okay, at least we have her motivation. Her father was shot in front of her. So that completely, that's why she does all these awful things. Let's not forget that we made that, not to jump too far to the end, but we made one of the new Avengers, Yelena, fucking murders a bunch of people who could have been completely innocent, just hired hands. We don't fucking know. Soldiers, they're dead. And all of a sudden, like, I want to be a hero because I feel sad. Instead of Black Widow, Black Widow wanted to make things right. That's the difference. She had red on a ledger. She knew, like, I've only got so much time left on this earth, and I'm gonna not do bad stuff anymore. It wasn't a selfish reason.
Right. They did it better in Avengers with Scarlett Johansson, with the red on my ledger business, with the Hawkeye conversation. That was so much better than anything that they put in this. What the fucking point? What was the point of Louise Dreyfus's assistant?
What was the point of that? Fuck Bucky. I've seen that chick on the red carpet. I would have liked to see that.
The villains feel like underdeveloped, generally.
Yeah,
Look, the reason that I say I did enjoy it is because I want to see more of it, and it felt like it was too short. It felt like there could be more, like it could be filled out a little bit more with the emotional aspect of it. The characters, like you said, like they didn't set up Ghost. Like she had like 4 lines in the movie. There's things in there that I want to see more of, which tells me I enjoyed the movie.
To be fair, she was better in this movie than she was in Wasp and Ant-Man.
I think all the characters are better.
And it might have been just because she got 4 lines. But
I think the other thing too is that they actually retooled the ending a bit. You could have had a better resolution with them coming together and beating this very powerful being.
I think they should have fucking bullied him and made him like off himself. I would have liked that. If they would have just talked about how big a pile of shit he is, and he really is fucking useless, and make him like end himself.
But I would have liked to see them come together and come up with something more creative to defeat this super powerful.
Well, that was the problem with the movie. The best parts of the movie is when they teamed up. The best parts of the movie is when they got the theme and ignored it. So they'd already got together and were doing the superhero. This is the thing. It's not that the movie is incomplete. It's just too shallow. It's the CW part where rather than punching a villain in the face, which they say is objectively bad, you shouldn't do that because it's what the villain wants. Instead, you've got to all get together and worry about your feelings. And they almost praise wallowing in your own pit of despair rather than going, there's a major problem we need to deal with. Yeah. We get that, put it to one side, sort out the problem, and then we deal with that.
The only problem was his mental health, and that's why he was the Void. The whole point of the movie was to address with it.
Like, this is, I think, the problem that we're going to have with Superman, where you have Superman and Lois having a conversation when people are dying in the background because they're going to talk about his feelings.
But they need to catch up.
This is what CW did.
Well, you know who's a CW expert? Razor Fist.
That's not true. That's not.
His favorite shows, I hear.
Seventh Heaven, yes, Seventh Heaven, absolutely. You know, when I was a kid, like they did back when it was the WB, they did an actual convention. It was the TV convention, and they had the cast of Seventh Heaven there. And I pestered my parents for days and days and days to get me to go see Jessica Biel and whatever. And the line was too long, and I didn't get to meet him.
Good thing you didn't meet Stephen Collins.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a completely different trajectory in life.
Why is he
kind of puts a whole new light on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It does.
It does.
Jesus Christ. What's up, man? We're talking about Thunderbolts, dude.
Do we have to?
Wait, I've lost count now. Is it the 37th Marvel movie?
36.
36?
30s, right?
Yeah, I do think not knowing a lot about current Marvel helps for sure.
It does.
I
would agree with that sentiment. If you haven't watched like Hawkeye and any of this stuff, it probably wouldn't affect your viewing.
One Disney Plus series in its entirety, I don't think, from Marvel. The last full Marvel movie I watched outside of Guardians, which felt completely isolated from the MCU, was
You watched Deadpool Wolverine, didn't you?
Yeah, okay, I watched Deadpool Wolverine. Again, that doesn't even feel like it's connected to the fucking MCU at times.
Not. That's why.
Yeah. Doctor Strange might be the last one.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Multiverse Madness,
which was fucking horrific. That movie was fucking bad.
I'll say what, like you just said, movies connected to the MCU. So we're gonna say directly connected because there's some nuance. Like No Way Home, not really connected. Deadpool, Wolverine, not really connected. And we'll say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a holdover. So as far as things that are connected,
it is though. You got to put Deadpool.
But as far as things that are directly connected to Disney Marvel. Like the shit they've been building through Disney.
It's got the
so Thunderbolts is probably, and we're putting the bar like on the ground. It's like a cunt hair above the ground, and it tripped over it. That's the best I can say. It didn't go under it. It's kind of the best of the worst because it has some good moments. I like when Bucky shows up and takes out this movie is just basically 2 action set pieces with 2 minor action set pieces. So they're doing that chase in the desert. And you've seen the clip, but when Bucky shows up and they treat him like a real fucking hero.
It was cool, yeah.
That was a cool moment. Unfortunately, Sebastian Stan wasn't given a whole lot to do, and I think he just took a paycheck and just kind of mailed it in. And good for him, by the way. Fuck it.
Said it,
man. Just make a new Bucky series where he's just riding around on a motorcycle like Lorenzo Lamas.
Yes,
a new incarnation.
Yes,
where he's got
renegade with harmonica, man. Dude,
yeah.
So the best thing about the film was when Red Guardian saved the little girl, and then she got fucking wiped out by the Void, and I thought, finally, the film's doing something fucking edgy. It's actually doing something that says, even when you get your superficial clap for holding a fucking concrete thing and you save a little girl, you can't save everything or everyone. And then Florence Pugh just goes, I'm going to walk in the void, which made you immediately go, oh, everybody's going to be fine.
I know.
So great.
That was the one thing I liked in the trailer was how the void was wiping people out. And I'm like, well, if they stay dead, then okay, this is a serious movie. I was also kind of hoping they would kill most of the Thunderbolts too. We got one. We got one,
right
which
at
is
the beginning.
I gotta say,
spoiled by the reveal of Doomsday,
dude. My favorite moment in a Marvel movie happened in this movie in the last 5 years. Is when Taskmaster got her fucking head blown off.
And then they just ignored it immediately.
That
was the thing. There were major events like that, and then you thought, well, okay, here's an idea we can play with, and they just move on. It was the same when Sentry's talking to the Valentina. And she's like, well, you need to do what I say. Why? And then it cuts, and it never mentions that again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm saying I think there's stuff on the cutting room floor. Like it feels
there
like
has to
there's
be.
a scene.
It's
there's
a Marvel
scene when
movie.
they
There
jump
always
in.
is.
They're Yelena's talking to Bob in his room, right? And then all the other new Avenger guys come in and they fight stuff. They're fighting chairs and shit, and then the Red Guardian pulls one of the pillows off and he does it in a kind of funny way, and there's a moment there where I thought they were going to do a quip, and it cuts straight to something else. And
no, he does. He goes like, it's a pillow.
Yeah, but it felt like you were going to go like and beat quip, but they cut that part out, and I was like, there's just a lot of little bits like that where it kind of
Yeah,
feels like it goes right from one thing to another.
After Eternals and all the bombs that they've had, it's like, they've taken these things out behind the woodshed and cut them up like a goth kid on prom night.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they keep going. That wasn't a hard punchline, but anyway, yeah,
It's so funny.
I liked it.
But it's absolutely like that's what they've been doing to all the new movies. Is they just they chop them up so they're a little less offensive, maybe a little less woke, something like that, But it's really just a happy medium in most cases.
I guess it's progress. I guess we could say that. They still need to tell a good story. That's the problem. And there was one in here. There legit was one in here. The Sentry is a very interesting character if done right.
Really is.
The Void as a villain is like the Black Pill as a villain. That's a good concept.
Can I show what the Void looks like in the comic books?
Yes.
Like, this is the Void in the comic book, right?
Little darker.
An unstoppable monster that literally you can't stop him, and the only way.
So he's not just a shadow.
He looks like
I did like the look of the Void. I did like the shadow.
Cool too.
Eyes.
I thought they did the Void pretty well.
Well, the concept behind it is that he's got a split personality.
Yes.
He has crazy power, and the Void manifests as a split personality. And the Sentry, to stop the Void, he actually has to acknowledge that that's him, and he has to bring the Void and merge with it and deal with his internal crap. Where that didn't really seem like that's what they were doing in the thing. Because
they made him.
I was hoping. I was like, okay.
Uh,
I was hoping that he would step up and have to come out as a Sentry in the real world, fight the Void in the real world, and we get something much cooler with this big fight, and then him realize, no, this is actually me. I've got to bring him into myself
what they set up
to save people.
for the Void in the movie was pretty good. It was a shadow version of him. All you saw is like the glint in his eyes, and again, he was a Black Pill. He was like, let me set you free from this thing called life.
Yeah, I actually
don't you want to rest now? And I dug it. I thought that was so. It's not like evil cackling. It is like there is just he is the void of hope. There's no hope. The opposite of it. Just just give up. Just give up.
I think they're trying to set Sentry up because he's in the Doomsday, isn't he? Or I don't know if they've released him yet, but he's going to be in it, I'm sure.
Yes.
And he's got spoiler alert. Should we spoiler alert this? It's towards the end of the movie.
Spoiler alert.
We've already spoiled most of the movie.
By the end of the movie, he doesn't have all of the Superman level powers and godlike powers, because if he lets himself have that, then the Void comes out. So I think they're setting up the Void to be resolved later with a fight, something like that, where he resolves and merges with the two aspects. But right now they're separate and he's not using his powers. So I think that's what they're trying to do.
Maybe.
It would have been nicer to see like a bigger connection with that character, because that was the best part of the movie. Void.
The Sentry is a near Superman level powered person, right? And the way that Marvel decided to try and put the brakes on him is with the Void.
Yes.
And his mental issues. Otherwise, he could just steamroll any villain in the MCU, Marvel universe, like without any trial. Like there's one point where he fights Carnage, and he just brings Carnage into space and rips him to pieces in the comic books. Like no villain can really take him on when he decides to use his powers. But again, by him dealing,
he's
with
good in World War Hulk too. So
that's why I liked the fight scene with him, because you could tell he was holding back, and he would do things like throw people in the air, but then catch them and then throw them gently. So he was deliberately not hurting people that he could have just snapped in half, kind of thing.
But he said to Madam Hydra, he says, "Why would I bother with people who aren't a threat to me?"
Why?
He was incredibly
to get disarmed. At least it wasn't by Okoye this time.
Sentry was very rushed in this movie, though. Like he went from like it was almost like a Ray development style, where it's just like
appeared.
Just boom, and it's like, man, could you have at least shown a little bit more of this?
And they give a whole thing about his dyed blonde hair, which just disappears at the end of the movie. But they dyed his hair blonde, so like, can he undye his hair? Is that part of his power?
He's like one of those Tumblr chicks who claim that their hair changes color when they're mad.
Yes.
What?
Mood hair.
I wish that would actually happen. Then I know.
It's Ocean's lightsaber.
I'm fine. No, you're not.
the build up to the Sentry in the comic book was actually really cool because they tried to pretend that this was a forgotten hero that Stan Lee had made, and he comes from the legacy cast. But because of the story behind him is that he was this OG superhero, did all these amazing things, and his arch nemesis was the Void, and then he discovered the Void was himself, and he had this big existential crisis where he brought him to himself, and he used his power to wipe the world's memory of who he was. And then in the New Avengers, they discover that he's surrendered himself and is in this bottomless kind of prison in Rikers and stuff, and the Void reemerges, and the way to fight him is he has to slowly kind of come to terms, and then everyone's memory slowly returns of who he was, and that has actually been on Earth for ages. This is what
Thor throws him into his son.
Material.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the Void is more of a plot, kind of like a plot device than like a true threat?
I mean, the Void would be enough of a threat to threat the entire Marvel universe and the planet. Like, it would be a big enough. It is a super uber level whatever super villain.
You can't. He's as powerful as you can't beat him. There's nearly all the Marvel heroes are trying to fight this the Void, and they cannot beat him. And the only way is Emma Frost is having almost a therapy session with him to get him to stop the Void from manifesting, and that's how they do it. And I reckon that would have been cool, where the Sentry was fighting the Void in the real world, and it was just destroying the city, and then the Thunderbolts, who they're not, have to go inside and try and basically do the therapy session to get him to stop himself.
Get him to So there could have been a different way to resolve this with still keeping some of these same plot points, right? Where it's like, we're not all good, we're not all bad, we're all somewhere in between. We've all done things, we're proud of it. Doesn't mean you can't still be a hero. Blah blah, like all this shit. And Bucky could have been a great example to use as like the person pushing that instead of Yelena. And then in the end, he's forced to embrace that to try to keep it in check, as opposed to the message being, sometimes men just need to be held by a woman. Sometimes you just need a good cry type of thing that he felt. And I was like,
and the way it's framed is the dudes are pieces of shit and the women were victimized.
Basically. It was get in touch with your sensitive side, which is why they made a big thing about you can't just punch him, you can't be angry, which would be kind of male domains. You actually have to get in touch with your emotions and talk to people and get held by people occasionally, like Pedro Pascal does on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah. And that was weird to me. He literally starts to beat the crap out of the darkness in him, and then they stop him. I'm like, hey,
dude, it's Goodwill Hunting. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. That's what they were doing, and the whole team. That's how the team comes together.
Well, that's not a bad message.
That's
the message to dwell on your self-indulge in your hatred on your own self. Like, that's what he's doing.
That's not a bad message. The problem is,
Goodwill Hunting is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with anger and violence as a hero.
No, I just got the.
I watched my superhero movie to watch him break up a fight between himself.
This is just a movie made by people just like
I did not think it was beating us over the head with all this.
Yeah, I don't know if it was.
It's not beating over the head. It's very shallow. It's very opposite of beating over the head. The only time they maybe because I've been in too much therapy, but the only time they really talked about like how you heal is when the Red Guardian is talking to Yelena and he's talking about gratitude. That's how you fucking heal. Gratitude. So he's basically going, when you sit at home and you drink all night, all you do is think about the bad stuff, and it's not as simple as changing your mind. You need to go out and get help to help you get it to understand, like, this is how I have to live my life. I'm probably going to have to live with depression, but there's ways to live with it. And you need help doing that. And what helps you is
alcohol.
No, that is the last thing that fucking helps you. If you want to die faster, drink alcohol. No, but what helps you is, literally focusing on the good stuff. It's way harder than it sounds.
That's what me and Garrett are doing in this movie.
Yeah,
exactly. The message of
exactly,
and
that's fine.
Yelena didn't even get over, she didn't accept anything. What she did was run away from her problems through a wall, and then she got into a new memory of hers, and she ran away from that as well. So if you do want the whole idea of no, you've got to accept things, you've got to get over it, you've got to merge it as part of your thing to become a whole
come to terms with it.
That is not
the concept of this movie.
She already came to terms with that before that event, before she went into the Void.
So why did they send her there then?
Because
why
she was
did
trying to go
the
save
other
the
why did
save
the other Yelena
whole
shove
situation
the
that was going on.
vodka down her throat, right? And then it reappeared with the other Yelena back there and her there. So I'm just like, oh, so in this time, instead of approaching Yelena, is she now going to approach the bottle of vodka? Because that's been her crutch, and then that's going to be the thing, the power that has. No,
I want to hang out.
I think she had already. I think she had already fixed that through the Red Guardian conversation. She came to terms with those things. So when she went in, she wasn't affected as she would have been before, by those moments. The Void was trying to use those moments like he did earlier in the movie, and it wasn't affecting her. She was just trying to get to him.
So show her smashing the vodka then, or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like solve every room rather than
there needed to be more lead up to that. Again, you'll see it in the fucking trailers. They show you the whole damn movie, by the way, in the trailer.
They do.
So when she's walking into the darkness, you thought that's kind of after a big battle and something led up to that. No, he turns into the void, the shadow comes, and then she just decides to walk in. And that needed lead up. That needed a lot of lead up. To make it more impactful.
There was the scene of them saving people, which I quite liked. As they, like that was my favorite bits of the movie when they teamed up against people.
When they teamed up to have that big slab of building or
Not
whatever.
That bit. Like when they
when they teamed up and like Yelena's going to help. I'm like, well, that's not going to be much help. And then Bucky finally comes. But what's funny, I cracked up in the theater. What would be funny as fuck is there was somebody on the other side of that thing when they pushed it over.
My son said the same thing. He was like, "What if there was a person
on the other side?" That would have been hilarious. But that was an all right moment. I liked the little hero stuff. Yeah. I liked it. I think we need a lot more of that.
Shallow. I thought that was so shallow. I nearly tweeted out yesterday. One of the tweets I wrote and then deleted and put the one was
why
the Thunderbolts is a movie about losers who catch some concrete and then everyone cheers. It was such a basic bitch manipulated attempt at going, look, we did a thing.
I'd rather than do a thing.
I would too. I would too.
I like those.
I want more hero moments.
Yeah, those are great moments.
It's not a hero moment. It's a fucking piece of
superheroes doing superhero shit. It was fun.
They're saving people.
Yeah, saving people. That's heroic.
Unlike Superman did in Man of Steel, they're actually saving people.
Nobody was under the concrete.
They were kind of like a Tumblr click away from holding the Planeteer rings in the air and chatting.
Fire, heart.
Yeah. But like that's actually a part that I thought was good about the movie was that moment where again, these people who are all fucking down, they're fucking depressed, they feel like shit about themselves, everything's gone wrong for them in their lives, and oftentimes it's not their fault, right? If you believe like the stories that they're feeding us. But I like that because they do feel like they're outcasts. They do feel like they can't be heroes. And then the moment happens and they see people in danger and they take action, they save those people. And it's not really so much about the act, it's then about people recognizing that. And
it's not about taking validation. That's not what heroicism is about. It's about selflessness.
It is in this movie.
People,
you dumb.
They're the most selfish
talking about.
people
They
there.
sat there and they
All they
fucking
care about
people. And you're like, oh, Red Guardian fucking stepping in front of a dropping piece of concrete.
48 minutes.
Oh, everything's forgiven now. We're Avengers. We got what we need. Selfish validation. The movie.
I don't know what
I missed you, Az.
I couldn't even word it.
I did not understand. It's a tie.
Watch those
They weren't heroes. They weren't heroes. They were selfish people that wanted validation for their actions. And when they got it, they dropped the villain like a fucking hot coal.
They weren't doing that to get the fucking blood. They were shocked that was happening because that's never happened to them. They did that because in the moment they thought it was the right thing to do. And I don't even really fucking like
Walker's had that. Bucky's had
Wakanda
that.
forever. Brian,
that you're
I
saying
guarantee
Red Guardians had that with
random
Russians.
innocent people. What the fuck are you talking about?
let our guests talk.
Nobody who made this movie was this passionate about the movie.
Yes, that's very true.
I guarantee. Both of you just went off like an Israeli beaver.
The thing is, though, I reckon both of you do have a point in what you're saying. Like no, you can point to both points in the film and find valid examples of what each is saying.
The
like,
post-credit scene. They're so obsessed about the post-credit scene. They're so obsessed about the name, the copyright. We want to be called the Avengers.
I just told this to Garrett. Unfortunate circumstance. My water heater fucking blew up yesterday, so I was on the same boat with fucking with Jeremy and everybody else watching it. And then I went and because I want to be a proper reviewer, I went and saw it in the fucking theater today and saw the credit sequence. And this might be the first Marvel movie that swayed me on not liking it because of the fucking credit sequence. They're fucking terrible. It's so fucking bad.
Awful. So
it's better to walk out at the end and just leave. You'll like the movie more.
What was the post-credit scene?
Yes.
What was the post-credit scene?
It was when they were 14 months later, and Sam Wilson is suing them over the rights to the name of the Avengers. They're in Avengers Tower, and it's just dumb nonsense and.
Nobody thinks we're the Avengers. Nobody's taking us seriously.
The Avengers with a Z.
That's what gets around trademark, which it actually won't, but it's okay.
And then they have a like beeping. They're like scanning for. So there's some interdimensional arrival that is just like appearing right beyond Earth.
How did Tony Stark not fucking trademark the Avengers? By the way.
He got a whole building.
That doesn't make sense.
He didn't do that.
They had a whole fucking building.
It doesn't
There
make
was
sense.
a line. There was a line.
Why would Sam Wilson have the license to the Avengers?
Well, he's trying to get it.
Filing it at this point.
He's filing
before
it.
the space thing.
Spaceships.
Yeah, before the spaceship shows up, they do. Yelena says something about now that there's this space problem. Like, whoa, what is that? I don't know what that is. And then the anomaly shows up, and they scan it, and then it's the Fantastic Four. It's just fucking
not
hot.
before
It's
John
awful.
Walker said, "What do you mean space problem? We've got loads of room in here."
Oh God!
I forgot about that.
They make him such a fucking moron, and it's so irritating. So I actually like the character in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
One of the things I really didn't like was earlier on, especially, he was the butt of a lot of the jokes.
Yeah, he was.
At points in time, there came to be like, Yelena gave a little,
compliment.
Basically, my twin Red Guardian, he's a fucking moron. Actually gave John Walker some credit, and he was like surprised that she said he knows what he's talking about. But it was few and far between.
Right.
Mostly shit on him.
They're constantly crapping on him. And the thing is, though, especially early film, everything he's saying had some validity to it. He was actually the guy trying, we need a plan. No, screw you. We're not going to listen to your plan. And then they go with this other
Because you're a man.
which doesn't work. And is like, I told him this wouldn't work. And so
that's the thing. Within the context of the movie, he was right, and he is good. Like he's the things that he plans to do are the correct plan. So, like within the movie, he was the one that's right. But
his trauma,
crash him a lot.
His trauma was being a failure as Captain America because he rightly killed a fucking terrorist in a show that's framed for fucking communists called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the most hateful fucking piece of content Marvel's ever fucking made. And his wife gets mad at him because he isn't paying attention to the baby. He's looking at his fucking phone, right? And she yells at him, and that's his big trauma. And then they leave.
What's
and
the
they
baby gonna do?
It's like right
it was the baby was
in the
Disparu, the baby's crying. The baby's crying. Yes.
You're gonna have some moments where you're looking at your phone. Like the baby was about to walk off a cliff or something.
No, it was just crying.
It'd be one thing if he was being neglectful and the baby got into some poison or playing with a fork in an outlet or something, and he's not paying attention.
It's actually
He was in a crib and was fine.
It's better than putting an iPad in front of the baby.
Every
Garrett,
new dad, we'll put it this way: every new dad has been in a position where they're the one who's supposed to be watching the baby, and you're doing what he's fine. Look at him; he's just sitting there. He's
not dead. Whatever.
And then mom gets very upset that after all she's been with this kid this entire time. She gets up at night to fucking feed him, and you can't even fucking take care of him for 30 minutes without being lazy about it. Every new dad has been there at some point. 100%.
Everyone except for Odin.
Yeah. He's attentive.
Oh shit! I just realized he isn't here.
But the thing is, they're presenting it like
wait. You know what really helps when the wife's yelling at you like that? Tell her to calm down.
And then we're reminded
period.
that we're not calm. Yeah.
Are you menstruating?
Is
it your time of the month?
they present it like John Walker was doing something uniquely vile as a dad.
Right.
No. And the thing is, though, what is he looking at? He's looking at the lies that are being spread about him online about what happened to him. Like, the guy is dealing with some actual crappy stuff in his life, and everyone's like, "You're an absolute bastard for it." And it's like the guy's constantly getting crapped on.
He's not playing Candy Crush.
This is what the Void summoned as one of his worst ever experiences, is sitting in a room getting told to watch a baby that's right next to him, and he just walks out.
That's his white male privilege.
By the end of it, I wanted him to be Captain America. He was, out of all of them, he was my favorite character. I would have much preferred him than Anthony Mackie to have his own movie. Because even at the end, when Valentina's getting away, he's like, we should just kill her. Because
froze. That's the best point you've ever made, Disparu.
Full screen for me. Back. You totally froze there, Disparu.
We got the John Woo edition.
Did the void enter your mind?
Yes.
It reminded him of the time someone forgot to put salt on his sandwich.
The point Disparu was making, like where John Walker says, shouldn't we just kill this evil woman that tried to murder everyone?
Yes.
It's like, yes. Yelena, when she walks up to that podium, she should say, "Oh, this lady's a murderer."
Yes.
Yes. That's my problem with the end, is the fact that they basically pulled a WandaVision where it's like, oh, the villain gets away with it. It's so fucking irritating.
Like, we own you. It's like, no, because she's so powerful. No. You've been scared of her the entire time. She's not going to be scared about a bit of PR.
No, you just gave her power.
Yeah, she owns you almost in this situation.
Yes.
It felt tacked on to the abrupt ending to the movie, for sure. Yeah, it's like, oh, look here, let's go through this curtain
garbage too, which was stupid.
Oh yeah, like I mean, it almost feels tagged on. Maybe it wasn't, but it feels tagged on that the post-credit, like the credits were used to like blend this with the Avengers, and then we had that casting. That chair stream, which was just invigorating. It was so good. Where they showed pretty much everybody survived except for the task manager, which again, she gets killed by Ghost in the first 5 minutes, and I fucking laughed. I was like, that's like, even Marvel's like, okay, this character's trash. We're gonna fucking
None of them care. They just steal from her corpse. That's the only thing they do.
You watch Black Widow. She's kind of an important character. She's allowed to live and go free. I mean, the whole Budapest incident, half of it was like her killing people. So, but they go, because she was victimized by General Harvey Weinstein in that movie. That
she had a tough life.
She had a tough life.
Did you guys see the quiz that the actors were doing? The multiple choice quiz that they did to promote the show.
Oh no!
One of the questions was, what is Yelena a product of? And it had like red room, green room, yellow room, and they go and they pause it and then
leather
they go,
couch.
Correct. Yeah, it's the casting couch room. And then they go, yes, it's red room. Yelena is a product of the Red Room Academy. I'm like, the Red Room, what is it, a fucking school now? The Red Room Academy of
It's accredited.
Like, what's the...
Yeah,
it's Hogwarts.
They were doing one on a late night. I don't know if it was like Fallon or Kim or whatever the hell it was, but they brought out a picture of Bucky's stunt double for the motorcycle scene and like an awful looking wig and helmet, and they were like making fun of that. And Bucky, Sebastian Stan, and he's like, "Thank you for ruining the one moment I have in this film."
I'm gonna find that,
and it's true. That is like that scene is. You know, other than him trying to go against Sentry and being able to do nothing just like everyone else, that's it. Other than him like failing at being a car.
Yeah, some good moments with Red Guardian though. They had some good back and forth. Like they had good chemistry.
I thought Red Guardian stole those scenes.
The motorcycle scene was fucking awesome though, and I agree with what Razorfist said. Like, let's just have a series of him riding his motorcycle, being a badass. That would be awesome, man. But
just a stranger passing through.
Yeah, but with Marvel, it'd be a lot of diversity, and he would have to have his white guilt dealt with, which pays pays really good money right now on the internet. So.
Every out of the sticks town that he goes into with a population of 6, it's the most diverse place you've ever fucking been to. It's like 4 Chinese guys, 3 black guys, 2 lesbians, a transgender. It's just like these out of the way places are getting pretty fucking You know.
Yeah, it's like a street gang in Fatal Fury or something. Like everybody's different races.
I wonder how Sam Wilson went from not being able to get a fucking bank loan to suing for the rights to the
Yeah.
Well, I have a
Government pays
question
well.
that's hanging in the air over this about why is everyone so incompetent in this universe that they can't just make a new Avengers group, and this is how it ends up happening with these rejects?
Because the people making it are incompetent.
Well, well, the thing is, you have Doctor Strange, you have Captain Marvel, Falcon.
Okay,
Falcon. I say
so-
Falcon. Captain
so that
America,
brings up a bigger
Hulk,
question.
She-Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, Spider-Man. They're all still in this world.
Bro,
Who is in the other Avengers?
if you're having a problem with Sentry, you just get on the phone and you call fucking Gaia on the moon, and she can come down and take care of business.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Valentino specifically says there are no heroes left on this planet. That's a line in the movie. So
Where did they go? Doctor Strange.
Where was
Spider-Man?
Where was Captain African American? Okay,
last time we saw Doctor Strange, he was about to go on an interdimensional adventure.
he was going to go on an incursion. There was an incursion.
We don't know exactly what's going on with him. Spider-Man, nobody knows who Spider-Man is anymore, right? So like that's like,
but they know
Thor's in space.
Memories. So yeah.
Right. But Hulk is still around. Hulk is still around. She-Hulk is still around, and Gaia is on the fucking moon, and she is the most powerful non-god superhero, probably right up there with Sentry. Because Razorfish, you probably didn't watch Secret Invasion. She's the Super Skrull, but with Captain Marvel's powers, like not the Fantastic Four's powers, like with all the Avengers, including Captain Marvel. So yeah, she's pretty powerful. We'll probably never see her again. But where's the timeline in this? So.
It's significant. Here's the thing. This takes place like at least 2 years after Brave New World, right? Because I think Bucky was on a
campaign stop.
Trail or well, I guess it could be a year, I suppose, if he's a congressman.
They called him a junior congressman, so probably a year.
I guess it could only be like a year plus since Brave New World, because he was on the campaign trail for that, and then they imply he's only halfway through his term. So if he's a congressman, 2 years. But yeah, it's significantly after Brave New World, and then a 14-month jump after this to when Fantastic Four come.
And the beginning, just go back to comic book movies being separate, man. I'm so tired of this connected universe garbage. It's just like, let's just make individual movies.
DeFontaine is being impeached in the beginning of the movie from her position. And that's why she's trying to cover up all this stuff, and then she sends basically what will become the Thunderbolts down to kill each other, right? So that's the.
Can we just stop trying to explain why this shit crosses over? They put RoboCop and the Terminator in an arcade game back in the day, and they didn't.
They did.
Yeah, and it
You don't
was
need it. Yeah, I do have a question. I do have a question. So the post-credit scene, garbage as it was, brings up an interesting idea. Who is in the Sam Wilson Avengers lineup?
America Chavez, Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi, Shuri. No, Thor's not. Thor's in it. Yeah, Thor's going to be it. Marvel's Katie. Yes, Marvel's Katie.
Marvel's Katie.
She-Hulk. I bet she.
Maybe you guys said this. What? Maybe you guys already said this.
Antidepressants.
Where's Black Captain America right now in this movie?
Where the fuck was he? He was around to sue, but I guess he couldn't make it. He couldn't trouble himself to make it to New York while it's
a couple hours away.
It's being sucked into the void.
He was learning how to use a laptop.
He's Captain Parts of America. Don't worry.
That happened very quickly, right?
It did. I'm just asking, like, where's he?
I was rooting for the void, by the way. He was cleaning up New York better than anybody.
There's a point in this
going up like Rudy Giuliani.
There's a point in this movie where not only could they have brought in the other heroes, they should have. It's when Bucky has them all tied up, and they hear of this. Oh no, she's got Bob. We need to go save Bob, and there's this big problem that could happen about it. That's when Bucky could call up Sam Wilson, his mates with him still, and say, "Dude, we need your help." There's Hulk and She-Hulk still around that they could get. What about Black Panther girl? They could call her in. I reckon, and look, we don't know where Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel is, but technically it's still around.
And this has always been a problem, like not a problem, but like with MCU movies, you do have to, you kind of,
even with any comic book that's ever existed,
when
after we have multiple superheroes.
When you have shared universe, you have to. I wasn't asking in terms of like, he should have been, I'm just curious, do we know where the fuck he's supposed to be at in this particular moment?
No.
Probably jerking off.
Maybe, but like
he's planting the fucking cherry trees that got destroyed in his battle with Hulk. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, what was the last the end credit scene for that?
They had a Bucky and Captain African America are on the outs. That's what he said. She's all, don't you know him? Can't you call him on the phone? And he's all, it didn't go well. With my Russian accent.
Why would it not?
The Russian accent.
Bucky got really drunk and pulled over one night and he screamed the N-word.
That was it.
I was gonna go funny.
He was on the playground with a kid. It was a whole thing.
I should have been Captain America, motherfucker.
And they had to give it to that,
that gentleman.
Have a whole monologue.
And now he's $250,000 richer.
Have a whole monologue. It's like
that's recorded.
When I grew up, we use that word all the time, Sam, and sometimes it's out.
Times of my era.
Okay.
I thought the segment of Bucky kneeling on Captain African American's neck was a little much.
A little
too far.
A little too far.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't fly.
So
I get his arm ripped off and just fucking knock the fuck.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that. Yeah. No, I thought the costume looked good. I thought it looked good. It looked really close to the comic books.
Gary, you said you said you were watching on the same boat as I was.
First time around, yeah.
How much of a difference just from like how did the movie look from the perspective of going to see it on the big screen?
It's shot too dark. It's meant to. I mean, it's meant to be dark. It's shot way too dark. Like they really crushed the blacks on that one.
What's the term, by the way?
It's a fucking term, dude, for color correction.
Falcon didn't show up.
I picked the wrong week to come back.
Why Anthony Mackie isn't here?
Woo! Start a GoFundMe. Let's
I'll be right back, guys. Hang on.
Garrett is 1/4 offended right now.
Let me ask,
Daddy's gonna get a second pool. Let's go.
This is a panel question, but like, how was the CG in the movie? Because obviously, I couldn't tell very well.
I've seen worse. Century gets pretty rubbery in that scene, but there's not a ton. Okay, so the little the fucking guinea pig that she looks at is CG at first, and then they have a real one. Like, it's so weird, but it's clearly CG at first. I don't know if it is the whole time, but yeah, it's
the only time I noticed
not a lot.
It's not bad. It's not as bad as in previous Marvel films at all.
Yes,
I only noticed it in where they're saving the civilians, and a lot of the fancy movement. They just like stretch. They were like Stretch Armstrong as they swung around and that kind of stuff. But
dude,
apart from that,
my favorite part was it's just a dumb little thing. So at the end, when the void is gone and everybody's coming back, they're all kind of like stunned. And then I was just because I saw the movie the second time. I'm focusing all the extras in the background who's clearly your job is to walk around looking stunned and like. A lot of people were trying to find out, like, it went on too long, and they were just kind of like, you got to see it, man. It's like, you ever see Braveheart? You ever start, if you watch it too many times, if you start like wandering to the back of the battlefield, you'll see dudes fighting with swords like this.
Right.
Are we still rolling?
Did he say cut?
There's still rolling yet. So it was.
There's a really bad scene in The Dark Knight Rises during a fight scene where some of the extras in the background. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, they used just normal civilians for extras and stuff. Like I have a friend who was an extra in that movie, and they literally were just filming on the streets of Pittsburgh, like. Now do audience things. Like that was it.
That was your direction. Yeah. So what's my motivation?
Magic knee brace. If you do it right, they'll give you a magic knee brace. You can kick a wall down.
Look,
like
what
Batman.
do you want from them? They get $100 for the day and a meal. It's not good.
There's a whole shitload of people who used to do it in LA.
It's true.
It was there was like a group of, I would say, a couple hundred people who showed up to everything. Like. It's like the people who showed up to back in the day. They used to do free screenings for movies. They'd pass out the ticket to be in my comic shop. You probably remember this from Atomic Comics. They give you like big stack of passes to go see a superhero movie. And it's always the same old fucking Chinese ladies in the first, like taking up the front of the line every fucking premiere in San Francisco anyway. And it's like, do you like Spider-Man? I love the Spider-Man.
I bootleg.
Didn't know you knew X-Ray Girl back then.
No,
was it Aquafina?
It was Aquafina's grandma.
Ashes the Rothmans.
But I think the worst scene out of the whole movie is when they're spending about 15 minutes trying to climb up a vertical tunnel.
Oh my god!
And we have to with them pushing their backs together, arguing about how they escape.
I thought
how are we gonna get out?
It was so unrealistic.
It just took too long.
It took too long.
Yeah.
What was
bizarre? That's why I say like the first what is it? Maybe 30 minutes of the movie, it just doesn't flow very well. It takes a little while. Once it gets going, though, I was fine with it. But that
there's a problem with the post-credit scenes now, because you watch Marvel movies, and is there a single one of these things where you're like, I need more of this? Like I need another 2 scenes of this. I think after the credits, let's go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? I feel like most of these movies would benefit from having significant portions of them cut. Honestly.
Yes.
This post-credit scene, I saw an article. This is the longest post-credit scene. At some point, we're just gonna have a whole nother movie at the end of the credits to try to set up shit that we're doing in the
movie.
What was it, like 2 minutes or something?
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
like
like
2
2
minutes.
It's like 2 minutes, but it's also like the only one that we know is going to get a payoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the last couple years. Whether it was the Hercules reveal at the end of Thor: Love and Thunder, there's a multitude of them that were just we know the fucking Council of Kangs out there that got choked out of existence.
Did you guys see the movie?
Anymore.
You guys see that? This week?
Yeah, Kang wasn't even in fucking Kang Dynasty. What the fuck?
What the hell? I was so excited.
I was so excited too.
I was supposed to release this weekend. Avengers
today.
Wow.
Today it was supposed to release today.
What was the first end credit scene? I can't even remember what that was.
Oh, they're in a supermarket, and he's like, "Look, we're on the Wheaties box."
On the Wheaties box.
You recognize me on it? I'm on this box, and she just doesn't care.
So
I fucking got up and left at that point. I was like, I'm done with this movie.
Does anybody remember the post-credit scene from Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No.
No.
Oh,
I didn't stay for it.
Wait, that's
It was the most
Carter.
exciting post-credit scene of all time.
Yeah,
Sharon Carter gets a phone call.
Yes.
Oh.
That's it.
What was it?
And that was the last time we
was it
ever
Bam?
saw her.
Yes. Sorry, Shad, you were going to say something.
I was just saying to Disparu's point about that elevator thing. What's bonkers to me about that scene is how forced it was when they had an easy, like Ghost could literally just phase into the elevator.
Yeah.
And even if they couldn't, like,
Well, then they'd fall
off. No, the elevator was down on their level. Like Black Widow walks out of the elevator.
Okay, I opened it for him.
And they could just hotwire it or something. That's such an easy solution.
She decided not to use her powers in a lot of places where she could. She is one of the most powerful people there, just based on she can phase out. She can put her fist inside your fucking head. Like she decides to basically phase out, phase in, and then start fist fighting dudes. And yes, there's a lot of very skinny, short women beating the fuck out of dudes twice. The whole opening scene, which could have been good.
Top-down one.
The top-down one where she's fighting and there's the shadows and it's supposed to be foreshadowing.
I think they did that
with
to
the
hide
shadows.
how absurd it was with the size difference. if you
When
just
she
look at it
walks
from
in the
top.
door, Disparu, and you see that she's about a foot shorter than the short guy she's fighting.
Yeah.
She's stocky though. She got that stock.
She is, but don't you
maybe
love
she
it?
knows Krav Maga.
Hey, how about Madam Hydra taking out a soldier with a fucking throat punch?
Oh, you see that? Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Get
She's
the
like,
fuck out of here. It's like
Lower body
osteoporosis.
strength, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's it should have been Bucky's movie. How many times have we said that now? We've had 2 movies in a row that should have been Bucky's movie.
I mean,
I would have preferred it to be Walker's movie.
It could have
I like
been.
the most.
It could have been an actual Thunderbolts movie. There's no one from the Thunderbolts lineup. They just stole the name. They stole the name. They should have called it New Avengers, but even then, this is the cast of the actual New Avengers, right? And look at this friggin' lineup. You got Wolverine, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America.
Dude, this was
Luke
after
Cage,
Avengers.
Spider-Woman, and
Did you read Avengers Disassembled? Dude,
no,
it's so good. Oh my god, the Thor one's so good. But you're right.
What a freaking killer lineup.
No, the director.
Does that mean we can get Madam Web back?
I hope so. It got 16 million views on Netflix. Make a sequel. But Oh, now I lost my train of thought. Shit.
Well, just that. Yeah, the actual
that's
new
how it
Avengers
goes when you're
lineup
old.
is great. This is a new Avengers. The only person there is the Sentry, and the actual cast. They needed to. This wasn't Thunderbolts. It wasn't New Avengers, and they needed to name it something. And the actual assembled team. They don't have any real heavy hitters, and their Sentry is just a wild.
So the director, Baron Zemo, who's out there, and his character is relatively intact despite being in Falcon Winter Soldier. What's the actor's name? Daniel Bruhl, something like that. So the director, Jake Schreier, was asked directly, like, "Hey, why wasn't Zemo put in this? He probably would have fit." And he gave a great answer. He's not in the script.
Yeah,
there you are.
Well, that solves that.
There was no version I was presented to where that was ever true from the first draft I read it. He wasn't in the script.
And the original Thunderbolts was actual real villains pretending to be heroes to be able to get access to the government, security codes and stuff and overtake the world.
And they were taking advantage of the Avengers being gone, being declared dead. Okay, go on.
Yep. And then half the team actually go through their own redemption arc and want to become real heroes. And there's a civil war in their team to stop Zemo from overtaking the world. And then they become kind of real heroes. And Hawkeye comes in and leads them. And so they could have had Hawkeye.
They could have.
They won't pay him enough.
They don't want to pay him.
They wouldn't pay him enough because he's an actual member of the Thunderbolts, and he comes in to train them how to be real heroes after they defeat Zemo. And it's a great story. It could have been really good.
Jake Schreier, the director of, we'll do this first, and then we'll go over his IMDb.
They asked me to do a season 2, and they offered me half the money. And I'm like, wow, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money. And so 8 months of my time, essentially, and to do it for half the amount. I'm like, I'm sorry. Why? Because you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? Maybe that's why you want to pay me half?
That's hilarious.
Of what I made on the first season? And this is not Marvel. This is like just Disney.
It's Marvel.
Not even really Disney.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Disney. The accountants. I told them to go fly a kite. I mean, just at the insult offer. And we didn't see eye to eye on that. Wow. And sadly, I still love the character. I still love to do it. But I had to defend myself. I didn't ask for any more money, mind you, right? It was a little disheartening that didn't happen, but that's fine. I'm happy to let that go because my body's probably thanking me, time and time again that I'm not doing it.
Who were the guys he was talking to?
He looks great for someone who's been run over.
Yeah, high performance.
Yeah. What a wonderful compliment.
Yeah. Who is he talking to? Do we know?
The TikTok says high performance.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were Marvel shills and they were like, oh no, what are we
He's doing
gonna
a book tour.
I think it's the fitness thing.
Yeah. He's on a book tour right now. Okay. No, so those are deals that happens all the time in Hollywood. So it's a deal meant to be turned down. It was a fucking slap in the face. That's exactly what it is. Like, we'll have you back, but just for half as much. And there's a reason for that. You talked about it on Daily. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, it's like there's a couple like levels to it because it might actually be a reality that they wanted to do a season 2, but they can't spend as much money on it because none of these things are making money. None of these streaming shows that they've spent an exorbitant amount on, all of them have been massive financial failures for them. So there might be part of that that's just kind of like realistic. I don't know how much he got paid, obviously, for the first season. I don't know if it's $10 million and this time they offered him $5. I don't know. But there might be some reality to they wanted to do one, but they can't spend that amount of money on it anymore.
And yeah, I think he was telling the truth with the accountants. They're like, you got to, and that is Disney, by the way. You got to dial it back. You have to.
It's almost like they filmed a whole Daredevil show, scrapped it, and filmed it again or something.
And it was still garbage.
Yeah.
But the accountants are the ones that know the profit and loss. They know if they can pay the actors that much or not. And just because the accountants had input. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And I think it's something that Hollywood in general is going to have to face, that you've just been overpaid for a long time. We don't live in that era anymore. And this is now what you're worth. You're still getting paid an astronomical amount of money, just not as much as before.
They seriously do need to dial things back.
Well, and it's not, I mean, that's the problem they're facing because, giant corporations don't love contraction, but that's what's happening. And they committed suicide. Like they did it to themselves.
I think that's why Rock is dicking around with WWE now, is because his last several movies were kind of bombs, and I wonder if his price isn't going down a little bit.
Well, he's also on the board of directors of TKO.
That's
so
true.
He's got a lot.
Honest question: has he ever led a movie that is done?
The Rock is a fake movie star.
Well, hold on. So Rock. So
I like The Rock and things, but like.
There was a trailer that dropped this week.
Yes.
A movie with starring Rock where he's got a bunch of like prosthetics, facial prosthetics to make him look completely different. That's an A24 movie. That's going to be like what they're hoping is Oscar bait, for Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
The trailer itself I thought looked really good.
No, he's a fake movie star. Look, he has a name and he's a draw in wrestling. He always has been. He's diminishing returns at this point in time. And I think the crowd's really finally starting to see him for what he is, a liar and a manipulator. But like, look at all of his successful movies, like Fast and Furious. It was an ensemble. It wasn't just about him. Now he came in there and elevated it.
Yeah.
He did elevate it once he came into the fold.
He elevated G.I. Joe.
No, no, he did not. No, he did not.
Garbage, that's for sure.
No, he did elevate it because the first movie sucked, and that movie sucked less than the first movie.
I will say he was better than Channing fucking Tatum as Duke. But don't
were you happy when he died? Was that one of your favorite moments?
Oh,
no,
right at the beginning.
No, because honestly, I'd take him and G.I. Joe over that shitty Snake Eyes movie. Don't get me started, okay? So anyway,
Snake Eyes.
Duke? like was it
he was Roadblock.
No,
he played. Rock played
Roadblock.
Roadblock.
He played Roadblock.
Yeah,
because that's a mighty change of appearance.
No, everybody dies. Everybody fucking dies in the beginning of the second.
Yeah,
but and then all the jungle movies where he was wearing a khaki shirt for some reason.
The Rundown.
The Rundown was good.
I like the Rundown.
I like the Rundown.
But the Jumanji movies I did not like those.
Yeah,
but
Jumanji.
I personally think Black Adam is like that hurt his ego more than we've probably seen any quote unquote star get hurt. Like that crushed his ego big time. And
that's one of the better fucking DC movies, dude, out of the slop. I'd say it's the best of the slop.
Really? Yeah. I mean, that's not a high bar.
No, it's not a high bar, but I mean, compared to Flash and Blue Beetle.
Well, it was going to be a real ego trip for him. His original plan was have Henry Cavill come in and him and Superman duke it out, and it's going to be like, oh, they're going to fight to a standstill, and like, I'm going to be on the same level as Superman. Like,
nah, Superman's going to kick your fucking ass, mate.
Get out.
That's the fucking real truth of the matter, mate.
Yeah, but Rock is a fake movie star. He's not the star that he's perceived to be. He's a huge name who has a huge following, but he doesn't sell tickets like the perception would lead you to believe. That's just the truth of it.
No, he hasn't got the catalog. Look at, like, people compared him to, he's the modern day Arnie and stuff like that. No, you look at Arnie's catalog, it is fucking S+ tier shit. And then you look at The Rock's and it's the fucking Tooth Fairy. You know, there's not a lot of great films there at all. Same with like Cena. Cena's fucking wading in a fucking quicksand for something he's never gonna get.
Yeah, he's in lots of garbage. He's in lots of garbage. That is hallucinatory. I feel like if Hulk Hogan had stuck with Hollywood, he probably would have been bigger than Rock is right now. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Going back.
Now he's at Trump rallies.
Right. Yeah. But, I mean,
now he's picking up $250,000 checks.
Yeah.
Hulk just launched a like freestyle wrestling league.
Yes.
Oh, like
him and Eric Bischoff
wrestling.
Yeah. Dude, when they were teasing the third man, I was waiting for Vince. I was like, bring it on. Let's get Vince.
Bring him back.
And then their tagline should have been, we're going to shit all over the competition.
Let's to wrap up the Thunderbolts real quick. The director, like, again, I will say, like, if you want to take a win for Marvel, is they didn't make the shittiest movie they've made since the last shitty movie. They actually, I would say there's an argument to be made. Chris Gore will disagree. I think it's better than Captain African American. I think it's.
Yeah.
That's not saying much because that movie was shit.
I would say it's better than Captain America, but I am more frustrated with this film because Florence Pugh she's a very good actress, and I like her. And I thought the guy that did Bob was good. And the movie that I saw was really a movie between those two. And if the movie was really maybe about Black Widow Yelena going in to extract Bob, or to take out Bob and ending it with becoming an extraction movie to get him out, because I don't see $180 million budget on that screen.
No.
At all. Or anywhere close. To me, this film looks like it's sub 100 because it's filmed as flat as a fucking pancake. And there's no dynamicism. The only time the camera starts moving is when it's a fucking CGI scene. And
it moved on my version. Like there was a lot of movement in the camera on my version.
Yeah, there's
lots of muffling. There's like this. So was there popcorn eating in the background in the theater?
It's just giving you the atmosphere.
It was funny because the tripod.
I was actually one of the people at the theater.
Was that Ryan?
Whatever tripod it was on, like, was very slowly moving up.
I know. Yes.
The Asian subtitles that were on the thing, it was like slowly going up.
So
as he like re-entered it.
Yeah. So Jake Schreier. So let's take a look at his body of work. And this is going to be a very similar case for the Fantastic Four. And it's because these Marvel projects are tainted, they can't get good directors. So this is his body of work. He did an episode of Skeleton Crew. He did Beef. I've never seen it.
Hold on, you're just gonna
wait. He did Younger and Hotter Than Me.
Wait, okay, sorry. I missed Selena
video?
Gomez and Benny Blanco, Younger and Hotter Than Me.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Michael Bay was a music video director. I mean, there's a bunch of directors that
We
started
Cry
Professor
Together.
X.
So is Director X.
That sounds
Where
like
the
a
fuck's
description
he
of a
now?
plot.
Beef.
Minx, The Premise.
Director X. Holy shit.
Dave, Brand New Cherry Flavor. Chance the Rapper's Magnificent Coloring World. Justin
Dave is
Bieber
good.
and Benny Blanco Lonely acoustic version. Justin Bieber and Benny Blanco Lonely, the non-acoustic version. Kidding. Kanye West closed on
Kanye
Sunday.
Hey, all right, now I like this guy.
Lodge 49. I remember that show. It was weird. Benny Blanco and Juice WRLD without a W because that's the kids don't need vowels anymore. Benny Blanco and Taney. Benny Blanco. I'm trying up here. Haim. I mean,
even his music videos aren't reviewed very well.
Shameless. I know Shameless.
Oh,
I know Shameless.
Remember Shameless?
Know that one.
Yeah. But no real movies. So yeah.
Yeah, I think
Christopher
that's the thing
Ford
with
Caesar film. That was the first one.
with MCU. Nobody. The same thing with Star Wars. Nobody wants to work on these because they've seen other directors that do have names that are established get their vision fucked with.
Right.
So they're not going to come and show up. So they're getting directors that do music videos or smaller projects and whatnot, which is not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but it is a symptom of a problem that they can't get a big director.
I would also say the problems with this movie has nothing to do with the director. I thought he probably did fine.
I also think that sometimes we can be looking at it the wrong way. And I think sometimes Marvel wants these very inexperienced people to just do it the Marvel way, this like Marvel by committee thing that's happening. Like we've seen a lot of that as well for them in their history.
And they're probably cheaper too.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to do next, Garrett?
Well. We have some Avengers. We can go right into the Avengers leaks. So there's some Doomsday leaks. We want to talk about that. There's also Superman leaks.
We could talk about my leaks
Talk
when I
about that.
sneeze postpartum.
Hey.
Wow.
Thanks. I didn't need to eat later today. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Isn't baby Frank like 5 years old by now? Like, what the hell's going on?
He's one.
Aw, he's like got a mustache already.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Italian in him.
You're going to be one of those parents, not that I'll ever go to Disneyland again, but who has their kid who can practically fucking shave in a fucking stroller on Disneyland.
I'll be like, he's 57 months.
Jeremy goes to enough parks. He knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
They have like 10-year-old kids in fucking strollers. Jesus Christ.
Not as bad at Epic Universe though, and Universal's not that bad. Not as bad.
I just thrown out there's Andor. We might want to.
Sure. Let me read one super chat because it involves a good show that Razor likes. So Anakmamon for Fitty.
Daredevil Born Again?
No. I just want to say I'm really enjoying Deadwood so far. I also wanted to compliment Jeremy's performance in the show. Oh, wait, that's not Jeremy. That's Calamity Jane. Sorry, all. Androgynous, inbred, retarded, hillbilly women all look alike to me.
Hang on, did they do Calamity Jane dirty?
That's honestly better than
In
being
Deadwood?
called gay.
No, I think they did her accurately.
No,
Yeah,
Deadwood's fucking awesome, man.
No,
who's
she's
seen?
they
who's seen the
kind of did
musical?
her dirty a little bit. They made her a dyke in season 3, which is not accurate.
Oh.
No.
But that's the only wrong thing they did to her. Really, she was pretty good actually in the show.
So who's seen the musical where she's like shooting engines in the opening thing? And the
No.
no one's seen the
No.
musical Calamity Jane. That's a classic.
Big musical fans on this stream.
Dude, I mentioned
Give us your best jazz hands, Shad.
Is that the James Mansfield one?
I like
look it up.
I like the
Shad
freak out.
Jackman,
Like,
ladies and gentlemen.
you guys haven't seen the musical?
I know. Like this is, I thought it was a classic.
How in the hell did we miss that?
Classic cinema.
How in the hell did we miss that? What are we doing again, Garrett?
So,
Oh, yeah.
so some
Chris
minor
Claremont.
Yes.
Chris Claremont came out with like no fucks to give. And it's some random little con just spilled. I don't know how much of this is accurate though, because we've heard that Ryan Reynolds will not be in
What?
Avengers, Doomsday, or Secret War. But
Did
he could
he
be
say
lying.
anything about
He could
Ryan
be
Reynolds?
lying. I think he did. So what I know is the chairs they shot that they didn't show are Ki-Hu Kwan, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Owen Wilson. Those are the chairs they shot that they didn't put in. But now we've got now that people are just fucking throwing up names. I don't think I was
and
told
he was just at a panel, right? And he just started talking.
Yeah, I was
He
told
was
Affinity
at a random panel in Huntsville.
That's
And
crazy.
He just kind of went on a tangent. He's like, you guys heard of this, this big movie that's
There's
coming out with,
audio.
50 different characters, And
Of
he's
course,
listing
dude.
spoilers.
Of course, Psylocke is returning. She is Chris Claremont's waifu, if you know anything about him.
Yep.
Like, she's in everything he does.
Olivia
But he said
Munn.
she's not
I'm
going to be
okay.
Asian,
Yeah.
which means Olivia Munn's not going to be it.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's going to be black.
So Robert Downey Jr. is playing multiple characters.
She's
They're gonna
not.
kill
She doesn't
somebody
start out
important.
Asian in the comics. So
No, she did not.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying what
Yeah.
he said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Chris Evans coming back because he's not a movie star, so he needs to get something where
So
somebody
that-
will
yeah,
pay
there's
attention to him.
There's a good Scarlet Witch. Apparently,
Elizabeth Olsen, Chris Evans, we knew was coming back, and they were just keeping that. I guess the big one is Hydra Cap, dude. Like,
Oh,
That's a big one.
Yeah. The very popular Hydra Cap.
I knew they were gonna fucking do this.
Of course. I'm surprised they waited this long to tell you.
I
the
am
truth.
too, honestly.
Did I say that, Gary, like fucking years ago? They're going to do Hydra Cap.
of course they would.
yeah.
You want to get Chris Evans back? He would want to play Hydra Cap. That would be his desire.
I can't wait for
Yeah, they should
anti-Semitic
just-
Cap.
Yeah, they should just read from his Twitter account when he's
Hydra Cap is anti-Semitic Cap.
Oh wait,
So-
that's Zygotes.
How the fuck are they gonna do Hydra Cap at this point?
Oh, he's going to be a
gonna
variant.
be
He'll be a
So,
variant. Yeah.
That's the thing.
We're in the
this-
multiverse, baby.
Yeah.
You're in this
Anything
world where
goes.
You're in this world where Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doctor Doom, who is a villain, going to be an antagonist, blah blah, all this stuff. Maybe he'll have ulterior motives as well. Who knows how they'll play it off when it's all said and done. So yeah, I guess it shouldn't, in reality, be surprising they're going to do the same thing with another beloved character in Captain America, have him play a villain. My guess is, when it's all said and done, we'll see both of the normal versions that we saw in Endgame at some point to help save the day in Secret Wars before they say goodbye forever. But it is such a big risk that they're taking by taking these characters who are beloved for their hero form, taking those actors that represent those characters and having them both play villains.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe if it's done right, it could be a huge payoff, whatever. But there's a lot of ways it could leave a bad taste in people's mouths and forever taint those characters that people still do care about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Wolverine should kill Hulk. He
Go
should
ahead.
kill the Hulk.
You mean the green Mark Ruffalo? Yes.
Yeah. Or you could do Hulk ripping Wolverine in half. That'd be rad.
Yeah. Magneto sucking out his adamantium. That'd be fucking. That'd be cool.
Sounds gay.
Do you guys think this movie? Like,
well, I mean, Sir Ian McKellen is gay, so there you go.
When is no one said you had to?
I'm going to suck his adamantium out.
I guess I could have used a better description.
Yeah, I couldn't be blowing it out, attracting it.
It's like, wow, they really went a different direction.
When is Doomsday coming out? When is it set to release?
Why did you spit on it?
A year from now.
A year from now. What are the films that do we have any major films that are going to lead into that or
Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts?
Okay,
so that's it.
Put that
That's
back up,
really
Garrett.
it?
I wanted that list
Wow.
of names on the bottom is just people throwing up fucking names at this point. Go to the bottom and they're like, here's a list. Blah, and they're like, everybody who's ever been in a Marvel movie, and like,
so hold on, this is not that. This is the actual official list.
That's the official. There's one on Twitter that was going around. That's the one I was talking
You're right.
about. Yeah. Sorry. So there's a list going around Twitter that's got like Tom Holland on it, and Tom Holland is not going to be in these movies. They couldn't work something out with Sony. So
for sure, not the first one, but
we'll see.
Are they going to bring Terrence Howard back as Rhodey?
Let's go.
And only if you'll suck a dick.
Like you have to kiss a man. I'll cut my lips off.
Because the Spider-Man 4 movie is going to be coming out like 2 months after Avengers Doomsday. But it's going to be taking place at around the same time period is what they've said. Like it'll take place during the events of Avengers Doomsday. That's when Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 is going to come out. So I don't know if they worked that up for Secret Wars or not.
Another one that somebody said in the chat, but they mentioned the name, but I would love if Edward Norton, since we're multiverse, Edward Norton comes back as racist Ed Norton from American History X. That would be badass.
Skinhead Hulk.
Dude, you could have stopped doing racist and I was in.
We'll have a Gibson go and everything.
Chris Claremont also mentioned Famke Janssen coming back as well.
Yeah, he mentioned Famke Janssen coming back
as Phoenix.
As Phoenix, which I was surprised she wasn't on there before. But again, they didn't have all the deals done, and they've started filming. They don't have a finished script, and this comes out in a year. It comes out in a year. Now they are much faster than they used to be in post, but like, dude, that's with all these characters, no fucking script. Kind of sounds like Endgame. So Endgame, so many different things were shot for Endgame that never made it. Like there's like a fucking 6-hour movie out there for Endgame. Right. And dude, we had set photos and everything. To the point where people saying they were fake. It's like, no, this was Marvel just fucking throwing shit at the wall and see what works. And they had all the money in the world. Endgame's budget was insane. Absolutely insane. And I think they're doing the same thing here just because they need to end it and do a soft reboot at some point.
Yep.
I mean, they need to just end it and recast everybody and maybe start again in 10 years. But
that ain't happening. That's what we said about Star Wars.
I know. Well,
they're gonna run it.
Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, fucking everything. Yeah.
Terminator, Predator, Alien.
I've just got the sale with your joke.
You just now got it.
On the same boat.
They were on the ice.
Why are they all fucking
on the board?
When did fucking Jeremy go to Texas? And where the fuck is the water?
And the penny drops right there. Well done, Az. You got there.
I get it now. I get it.
And I like how delayed it was because we haven't mentioned that like 30 minutes. It makes it even better.
Wait a second.
Could have just kept it to himself, but had to announce that it just got it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the best part is he could have just not said anything.
No. That's impossible for Az. You know that, right? I have no inner monologue.
With like the outer.
Oh, dude, sorry.
Wait, so as told me you were on a boat together.
On an actual boat.
I know it's on a boat. Watching it. Yeah, me and Jeremy went on a fucking cruise together.
With a movie theater on it.
With the random Indian that spoke about gambling.
What is going on? What are these guys fucking doing? They're not even taking the job seriously anymore.
And then he thought Shad was on the boat too.
I just thought he was Australian.
Where did Ryan's point about the tripod going back, though? How did that fit in?
I didn't want to ask. I thought there was all kinds of kinky shit on there. I just didn't want to ask.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like they're shoving it where?
I'm so glad Az is back. Fucking hell.
It was a little out of practice.
Jeremy's on a boat and I hear we set up a tripod. I'm like, that sounds fair.
Who's a tripod? What were you thinking when we were talking about the random
It was a
Indian
special cruise.
speaking in science?
Look, he's in the UK. It's fine.
It was a Disney cruise. Okay. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess he is in the UK, so he's used to random Indians.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm in the UK right now.
Oh God.
Well, this is the point. Like, now you've left, now you can be British again.
Yeah.
You can actually live in it.
What is it about Brits? They get more Brit when they leave. What is it?
Just an ass
Where's
thing.
this boat? And have you got room for one more?
They're in Britain doing ebonics and shit. They get to the US, they're like, oh,
Hello.
beans on toast,
Hello,
mate.
Governor.
As long as I say my prayers at 1 p.m. in Britain, I'm okay.
No, 5 times a day.
Right, fine.
I see it in chat. I think
It's like your weightlifters' meals.
in Secret Wars, they should bring Lou Ferrigno in and Nicholas Hammond and fucking I mean, just go ahead and bring in everybody who's is Red Brown still alive? Is he still alive?
Ben Affleck, Daredevil.
Ben Affleck, Daredevil. Nicholas fucking
Nicolas
Cage,
Cage.
Ghost Rider. Nicholas fucking Cage, Ghost Rider. Do it.
Cameo the movie.
David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury.
No, it'd be
Cameo the movie.
bring in the
Trilogy.
freeform Cloak and Dagger to have them like get murdered horribly by Doctor Doom or something like that.
just
That'd be
instantly.
great. Yeah.
Turn it into a Doctor Doom prequel. You watch him get his doctorate in Doom. You just
Yes, the PhD in Doom.
Yes.
Doing his Doom test.
Finally find a purpose for Blade. Like, he finally gets his actual movie.
Has anyone watched the David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury Agency?
Yes, I own it. I own it.
Back in the day.
Oh god.
He is now officially a better Nick Fury than fucking Samuel L. Jackson because I watched fucking Secret Invasion. Yeah. Oh, before we get to the Superman rumor, I just thought of one more thing from fucking the Thunderbolts. So when there's an Austin Powers moment where an Asian lady's like in the middle of the street and there's a truck about to hit her.
Oh yeah.
And
She's
then
like,
she's like, ah, and then during the whole time, Yelena goes, "Hey, Red Guardian, come over here and flip me." And then she flips, and then she doesn't go directly to her. She lands on a car, rolls, and then saves her. I mean, the car was like 5 miles away, dude.
Yeah.
That was, and it was Austin Powers.
She was frozen with fear. She couldn't
Oh my
move.
God, I was laughing.
Like,
like
checking
the,
a watch as she's screaming.
Did you ever watch the Dolph Lundgren Brandon Lee masterpiece Showdown in Little Tokyo?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Where he jumped over the damn convertible or whatever, that's being driven by Master Tatsu from the Ninja Turtles. Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
That's an amazing movie. All right, more rumors because please check in to our Patreon for rumors and scoops every week.
We got the scoop.
Patreon's called I Make Shit Up on the Daily. On the daily.
I got my sources.
Sounds legit.
Yep. Superman plot leak. James Gunn makes online trolls Superman's new kryptonite. Now, this is everybody's talked about it this week. So, this was on Reddit earlier in the month, and I think it got picked up by I think Matt McGloin at Cosmic Book News, and
My Time to Shine Hello is the one,
the main source. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it till it hit Cosmic Book News because I don't fucking follow My Time to Shine. Goodbye or hello. So the rumor is basically that Lex is trying to internet bully Superman with misinformation. Now, what doesn't get mentioned is, and this does happen in the movie, is there's a message from Bradley Cooper's Jor-El that gets reworked to make it sound like to the world that Superman's there to conquer. That Superman's
Fake
there.
news. Fake
And
news.
and well, it is. But I'm wondering if they riff a little bit on John Byrne's Man of Steel, if you've ever read that. If you listen to the conversation between Laura and Jor-El in that book, I mean, Laura's kind of like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's superior to all of them. Well, he'll go there to rule? And Jor-El goes, well, maybe, but he's all, but then I looked at their society and blah, 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 But like they might riff on that a little bit and make it sound like he's there to rule. But they also want to pile on. So a bizarre and rumored plot for James Gunn's Superman has resurfaced online, which claims the Man of Steel gets dragged into the world of cancel culture. In a leak, it claimed that James Gunn set up Superman to be betrayed by social media hate, which apparently makes the Man of Steel feel sad.
God.
Now we're not joking. It's further claimed that James Gunn uses #supershit to move in the movie, which trends and damages Superman's image. But what's the real twist? Lex Luthor is behind it all, using an army of mutant monkeys, and they're literal mutant monkeys. They're not just saying trolls, at keyboards to flood and troll the internet and tear Superman down.
We're not supposed to call them that.
Stupid.
God.
Like, because you've seen the bot farms, right? And they usually run out of Asia,
Right.
and so yeah, he's not referring to anything.
No, not at all.
No.
And you can infer a lot. So, like, being the journalist that I am, I messaged Chris Gore because, like,
I like the update. YouTuber Nerdrotic.
I know. So just to explain myself a little bit.
Well, yeah, because you were saying this was a Patreon source when you are the confirmation,
Right? So, yeah, just to explain, like, other people were saying it was true before me. Okay, just to be clear. And then, but like we were talking about it on Real BBC, and I'm like, there's no, like, as I think we were all like, it could be true, but there's no way this could be fucking true. So I'm like, hey, I know somebody who saw the film. So I asked Chris, and when Chris was on with me, we were texting that guy like live, like, is this true? And he said yes. So it is absolutely true, but it's like a 30-second scene in the background. So that's the context of it, and it's meant to be kind of a joke. But they also, what I didn't mention in my tweet, what Chris shot back to me with is, oh, they also take a shot at Snyder fans, like, for sure, which is, I would advise against it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
big mistake.
I mean, okay, you got some chutzpah there, but
you need to win over the Snyder fans.
Not
You don't
piss
need
them
to
off.
mock them. I don't like the Snyderverse. I don't like basically any of the movies. They're all trash. But I respect the fans. If you like those movies, you have the right to like them. And you are running the DC fucking universe. You should not be trashing people that are passionate about your universe.
Word.
You should be trying to make the best movie you can.
Yes.
Flat out. Yeah.
Slide in these little personal shots, and whether all of this, like him dealing with the cancel culture element, is because of his own experience, or whether he's trying to take shots at other sides of DC fandom or whatever. Just fucking focus on
Dude, they already made this mistake in the comics, and how did that work out for them?
Not very well.
Not very
They
well.
can't give that shit away as a free pamphlet. Like,
No.
this tanked the comic industry. So yeah, let's replicate it on film. Why not?
That's what Marvel's been doing. Hey, everybody loved that Marvel Now and the all new, all different stuff. Let's just rush right to it. Let's bring back Hydra Cap. Why not? Let's fucking go.
Everybody loved that, right?
Everybody
Right?
loved America
No.
Chavez, some of the greatest dialogue in the history of comic books. I think
administration.
how many channels read America Chavez 1, the dramatic reading? And every time it was fucking funny. It was fucking funny. There's that whole Kate Bishop, I wish I was a lesbian, fucking wall of text.
Oh my god.
Yes. That shit was
Or
hilarious.
the one where you're gay.
I respect gays.
Yes.
Gays
No,
are
that
the
was a
best. I
thing,
wish I
Chad.
was
So
Actually,
there is a
Like,
panel,
you know.
Shad, there is a panel in a Kate Bishop comic book where she's like in a car or something like that. And she watched, I can't remember, a couple lesbians go off being lesbian. She's all, You know, I'm not a lesbian, but I wish I was a lesbian. They look
That
like
was
they're so
actually American
lesbian.
Listen,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
See if you can find it, Garrett.
What? Totally normal.
That's what a comic book fan. Listen, lifelong comic book fan. I have been waiting for that panel all my life. Okay, I don't want to see a fully powered Thanos take on the Avengers with the Silver Surfer and the real Defenders. I want to see this.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
I'm literally intrigued and in awe of both of them. If this is what it's like to date another woman, then I applaud all the women dating women right now, because this is incredible. Motorcycle courtship chase, check. Missiles and explosions, yup. And
There's
now,
not many of them, to be fair.
And now we're just flying together in the sky, heading to a giant heart. I swear, if they come back, oh, they're gonna come. If they and then break up
I
immediately.
think she already is by the look on her face.
If they come back married, I'm going to be so jealous. Sigh. Always the bride's best archer, never the archer bride.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm jealous she can dislocate her left leg like that.
I know.
Every time I thought I knew the depths of where the comic book industry has fallen,
Bro,
like
that's years ago. They've gotten so much worse.
Holy
And you wonder why there's only 1,000 comic stores left in America, and we don't even know how many of those are brick and mortar. And nobody wants to fucking buy Diamond Comics.
I think the strangest one I saw was the Harley Quinn fart comic.
Yeah.
And it was basically just a thinly veiled fetish.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Nightwing
no.
ass comic. The Nightwing ass
Yes.
comic. The worst shit.
So the Harley Quinn fart comic is a scratch and sniff comic book.
I didn't know that.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the Nightwing ass comic. By the way.
It
fuck
is?
is
No,
wrong
no.
with you?
I wouldn't believe you. You got
Very
me.
similar
It smells like sandalwood. It's great.
What is so is it a scratch and sniff fart? Is it supposed to smell?
I guess. I don't fucking know. I didn't buy it, but somebody wanted us to buy it.
Any part?
Somebody was offering Az like tons of money to read it. He's like, no.
Just sniff it.
I don't.
No,
Yeah,
I'm good, fam.
I am not curious
Harley
to.
Quinn's pussy and fucking the third run of this fantastic comic book series.
And
Is
very
that really where we're at?
smell it in various stages of cleanliness.
Oh, man.
It's even got silent
after
but
the
deadly.
gym.
That's depraved.
Oh my
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get our hands on that.
Hey, Gary Razor's got to bounce.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah, I gotta go get ready for my show. Thank
go
you
get
guys
ready.
for
Thanks
having me
for
on.
thanks for coming on, brother.
I was supposed to be on a
Good
couple
to
of weeks
see you.
ago, but I had to get my jaw drilled into. It was awesome.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
that sounds fun.
Too much dick sucking.
Yeah, fun time.
That's what my
I
missus said
had-
last.
I
Anyway.
had to have the same procedure.
Yeah, no. Anyways, thank you for having me on. Godspeed,
Thanks,
guys.
brother. Take care,
All right,
man. Razor Fest.
Later, man.
Oh, going down memory lane with those fucking comic books and like, dude, what did who tweeted it today? The Juggernaut is now an Asian dude. Is a gay Asian dude? Yes.
What?
Jesus
I
Christ.
bookmarked it, but it's on my phone, so I can't.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
I was thinking that line,
Oh,
that exact line. Holy crap!
You pull that up, Garrett. We got some good
Comics
news.
are saved.
Yeah, and
I'm a
Jeez.
you're
question
talking
mark.
about Marvel adapting all the really popular stuff. We got Ironheart coming sometime. soon,
Yes.
don't we?
Well,
Next month.
popular, right?
so
Ooh.
Jeremy's tweet
Oh,
with
wow.
fucking Sydney Sweeney just popped up for me. I was like, I'm sorry, I got distracted.
It was been very entertaining.
Spoken.
This is why you forgot what you were saying.
I knew it was going to be an unpopular take, so I figured I'd put Sweeney in there to offset.
Yeah.
I
it,
don't
you
think
know?
I don't think it's an unpopular. I think it's a. Listen, Marvel. I mean, they kind of got to win. They made a fucking mediocre movie. Way to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like
that
I
I didn't
said-
like. But
Like I said, I liked it, but let's see 5 more good projects that are universally loved, and then we'll talk about if we're
That ain't
back
Okay,
or
I
not
will
or
say
whatever.
it's
never
it's
happening.
a start for improvement. It's not perfect. It's a start.
I mean,
Well, I don't
yeah,
think anybody thinks perfect, but it's good. I enjoy it.
I have a lot of
enjoy it.
issues with it, but it's it wasn't the worst thing ever. It was,
I'll never see this film again.
I probably will.
And that says everything.
Because I was on a boat. I'd like to see it not on a boat.
Yeah,
So-
like it's
that boat can be distracting. It rocks a bit.
Yeah.
The only
That's
difference
probably why you like
you
it. You're
can-
probably seasick or
So
something.
if you're not on the boat and you go to a theater, you see it a little clearly, but it is definitely shot like fucking Game of Thrones. It's shot like Game of Thrones, which got darker every fucking season, where it was damn near impossible to watch it on your TV. Stop being poor, get a better TV. I know, but yeah, it was shot a little too dark for me. It
Well,
was.
they said
You want to
they
talk about
needed to inject a little
Andor?
bit of- Anyway.
Shad?
Yeah. Let's talk about Andor.
Andor.
Andor. because
Another friggin' 3 episodes that could have been 1. I like that. That's so bloody boring how they stretch this crap out.
It dragged.
here,
man.
real quick. Oh, go on.
I was just gonna say it dragged. Like I agree, it dragged bad, and the payoff, I guess, it was all leading up to this, and I do think some things were better about these set of 3 episodes than we got in the first. In terms of, we did get a lot more of the ISB stuff, and now we get this. Cyril's actually working with them, and Dedra and Dedra having him there to try to inspire more rebel activity, to give them an excuse to crack down and take over on Gorman, while at the same time, Luthen's pushing them to do this while knowing that if this happens, the Empire will strike down more. There's like some interesting shit with
There
that.
is.
I like the intrigue. I thought that was pretty interesting. But
Like-
yeah, I mean, it did drag on quite a bit, and I felt that the 3rd episode kind of faltered a bit.
You know, his line that where it's like, what if Gorman actually falls? And it's like, then it'll burn very bright. It's like, you know, there's some good stuff.
Yeah,
it's
there
let's
is.
just separate it and drag it out. Like her trying to get that thing out of the artifact stuff took so bloody long. I just wanted to get a baseball bat and smash it. It's like,
Well, they
and then
were trying to build tension. And
Okay,
it
they
really
did,
kind
and
of
then it went away because it took too long.
That was actually like, with all this build up, all this lead up, Bix sitting there fucking getting high, Cassian going to travel there, doing the thing, like all these episodes of whatever we go through to finally get to this event where the Gorman Resistance Front or the Gorman Rebels or whatever their actual
And
names
they are French. German.
Yeah,
they are
they're
German French people.
revolutionaries.
And I
Yeah,
thought,
so
I
the
can't,
French
dude,
resistance is what they are.
like, there's a guy, I just watched Top Secret with Mahler, and there's a guy who looks like fucking Deja Vu. And I was fucking laughing so hard. I said, Deja Vu. Have we met somewhere before? Top Secret, great movie.
But and finally, it's all leading up to this point where they're about to do this heist, and at the same time, you're back at Coruscant with Mon Mothma, Luthen's assistant, and they are trying to get a recording device back that they implanted in this guy's piece of art that they sold him because they know when they investigate it, they're going to be discovered, and it's going to be a huge thing. So I actually think that initial part, them combining those elements, happening simultaneously, going back and forth, I actually thought it was really well done initially, and it did create a lot of tension.
Agreed.
And then it went a little too long. And then it went a little longer. And then it kept going. And then it kept fucking going. And all the great job I felt they did in building that tension initially all went away.
Fell apart.
And every time they cut back, she's in the exact same spot trying to do the exact same thing, and she hasn't turned it anymore, except, now she's bleeding. And I got frustrated.
She never thought of going, can you just open this jar for me? That's what I kept expecting.
And they're trying to, I guess the one thing you do get with it taking that long is you get all of this dialogue between Mothma and Krennic, which I thought was fine. That was pretty good. But it was just another case of it taking way too long. And then finally, Cinta and Vel, we've been waiting for them to reunite for so long because so many people cared about these characters. And they get a kiss, they get a lesbian kiss. And you know what? If I maybe gave a fuck about these characters, it would be like one thing, but I just don't give a shit about them. And that was the problem with them in the second half of the first season. That was a problem with their little fucking look they gave at the end of. See, it's like, I don't care about their relationship, and they didn't do enough to make me care about them, to care about what happens at the end of that fucking episode or about their fucking kiss. The Bix and Andor scene, I'm a little more care about those characters than I do at all about Cinta and Vel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it took away from that because they spent more time on that. And dude, the scene feels like what it is. They had to put it in there. They had to put it in there. It was obligatory. It doesn't really fucking move the story for me in any way. And by the way, they buried their gay at the end. They killed her.
They wanted to put that in there.
They definitely wanted to, but they also had to. So yes.
You know, the payoff with what Bix and Andor ended up doing at the end of those 3 ones, I felt so quick, where that seemed like there could have been a much better build up where they had to plan out, get into it. And because it was a strong moment for Bix to actually get that revenge. And it's
and it felt like nothing.
Bang, it's there and gone.
Like we wasted so much time on the fucking lesbian shit. I would have rather have seen them set that up. Because when it happened, I had to rewind. I'm like, where did that come from? Holy shit.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere.
It did come out of nowhere. Like they mentioned,
I thought she might have been still high and seeing things.
An episode before, I believe, is when they mentioned that they were bringing that doctor there and they wanted the guys to help set it up and everything. But the scene was out of nowhere in and of itself that Bix would be there.
Instead, we got 2 episodes of Bix just crashing out, getting high, and then doing like they could have opened with that, and then have the build up where, all right, if you really want to address this, let's get that friggin' bastard. Let's really,
And I just want to point out, and I pointed this out in season 1, that I think it's it's incredibly lucky for the rebellion that the Empire has no video surveillance anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient.
Well, they do in some places.
In some places, but they
talk about it specifically, like when she has to go to that one big park, and he's like, we can't. They
just put up cameras there. It's like Coruscant should be just fucking covered. Look at London.
Everywhere.
If London can cover you with cameras, Coruscant can pretty easily, and they could probably be like a little autonomous droids that just follow you around.
The Jedi Temple definitely has them.
Technology they have. They have greater technology, and it's a balance because they could try and lead with the excuse that it's just too big to cover everything. Coruscant is a city, a planet city,
levels everywhere. By the way,
exactly.
Yeah,
and I wish they did a better job of exploring in this show than that on Coruscant. Is you don't have every building. You don't need to be seeing the skylight behind it because it goes down thousands of fucking levels. Which, if I were Bix and Andor, that's probably where I'd be hanging out with.
How is it powered? I mean, like, don't they have like manufactured environment now? Because that they explain that in a book somewhere.
So they have like controllable weather and stuff.
Yeah,
they actually have, and you can see them a little in the movie, I believe. But they have essentially these massive mirrors that are positioned all around to direct sunlight at different parts of the planet as it goes, like as it spins, to produce sunlight, and obviously shut them down for nighttime. They can make it hotter, they can make it colder, all that shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Coruscant Underground is such an untapped, wicked kind of world building element. Like, it's crazy, the type of stuff. And that's just like on the lower levels. Then you get to the real underground, where it's basically like this deserted maze with monsters and crap in it.
It is. It's like these disgusting, devolved beings and shit that don't like, because it's not light out there, they're blind because they don't need light. It's pretty weird. I would have loved to delve into that. I bet there'd be no fucking rape in the underworld of Coruscant. No one ever got raped under there.
Nope.
But they only hint at it.
What about lesbian rape?
That guy that is kind of like the turncoat in the ISB that he only meets with what's
Lonnie.
his name when he's on that elevator going, and it looks like they're underground somewhere. But that's it. That's all you get. You get this tiny little snippet, and that's kind of indicating that it's really hard to find a place that you will guarantee not be observed, and it's safe to probably talk about that stuff. But then you do have Andor and Bix walking away from a place that they just murdered a couple of, Imperial guys, and then pressing the bomb exploding thing. And I'm thinking, that's a bit out in the open. Like, that's a bit
I'm waiting for the show to become Andor, because like it should not be called Andor in any way, shape, or form, dude. Like
it should become like Rise of the Rebellion.
Yeah.
Rise of the Rebellion or Birth of the Rebellion or something like that. It has, he's a minor character in the show.
And also, we got our first look at Bail Organa.
Yeah,
who is not being played by Jimmy Smits.
No,
apparently there was like scheduling conflicts, and they wanted it to happen, but they just couldn't because he already had pre-commitments to other things, which I think is wild.
That is crazy. What the hell is he doing?
And he's the right
Dexter.
I think it's Dexter. Yeah, Dexter.
Yeah, he is doing Dexter, but it's just crazy to me you couldn't find a way to make it work somehow. Benjamin Bratt is doing it. The thing is, it's not like an age problem.
No,
because when you look at the timeline, I mean, we saw Revenge of the Sith come out 20 years ago. Jimmy Smits played him in that. This takes place 15, 16 years later. Like the timeline makes sense for his age, but apparently they just couldn't get it worked out, which is weird. But the first live action recasting that we've seen for somebody who's like actively still available to do it, at least they didn't use a fucking weird CGI face, I suppose. That's better than the shit they do for that. But one of my major criticisms is going to be, until we see it in this show, Bail Organa has to be so much more involved.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Because Bail Organa and Mon Mothma, along with some other senators and Padme, they were part of this little group of people that were concerned about what was happening with Palpatine and his power and all of this stuff. And then the Empire takes over and they kind of agree, listen, we have to vote the right way so we don't get executed, but we're still going to focus on building this. It might take decades, but we have to do this. So,
I mean,
the idea that he's not involved to what we've seen at this point is concerning. I hope that we see a scene later that reveals he and Luthen had been working together for years.
Yeah.
We have to see that because him and Mon Mothma were doing this 20 years before.
Right.
And what I'm like, what's annoying, there's some good moments in this show stretched out, and I think the execution can be really poor at times. Yet there's parts I'm interested in. I want to see how the this rebellion builds into an actual serious thing. Where do they get their fleet and their ships and stuff? And it seems like that's where Bail Organa could actually really help out with, being able to bring Alderaan's backing into the mix and bring the where does the frigates come from that the rebellion have and stuff like that?
The actual formation of the Rebel Alliance as well.
Well, unfortunately for Alderaan, they don't even have like they're a peaceful planet. They don't have like a big peacekeeping force at all or anything like that. But in terms of his influence and money and stuff, yeah, for sure. Andor is such a fucking weird one because they introduce some elements that I'm like, I think that's really interesting. And so much of the execution shit, so many of the characters I don't fucking care about. Yet there's like some nuggets of ideas that I think are really well presented. But overall, it's just so goddamn slow. It just takes way too much time to do some things. And even when they do things right, because it's taken so long in that sequence, it loses you.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect example at the end of this.
Or they just jump it on you without barely any proper build up to it, and then it's gone right away. Like, with what Andor and Dax Bex, whatever her name is, do at the end of those 3 episodes. Like, that could have been a much more interesting build up, that one.
I also hate that fucking Saw Gerrera has X-Wings and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They should have introduced that because the X-Wings were like prototypes that were in development for the Empire. At about 1 or 2 years BBY, the Rebels actually had a big plot and they defected. The Incom developers defected, and there was a whole mission to bring them to the rebellion so the rebellion could start to produce them and use those ships as kind of an advantage over the Empire. That would have been great for one of these fucking 3-episode runs.
Totally.
We saw something similar with them stealing the prototype TIE Advance, the TIE Avenger that they stole, and then nothing fucking happened with that. Like, why the fuck did he? I don't know.
Saw Gerrera, who talks like he's about to take a shit the whole time.
I was thinking the exact same thing. That, because part of me is like interested in where they get the fleet, and then I was thinking, well, it'd be cool if they reveal how they get the X-Wings, because the X-Wings are really good ships.
Well, they've certainly taken. They had enough time to reveal all that stuff, but we had to just like have somebody trying to remove a bug and for 2 episodes and or entire episode and a fucking wedding across 3 episodes, so we could see Mon Mothma fucking techno dance.
We get to see Saw Gerrera huffing gasoline.
I know.
That was fucking hilarious.
That was weird. And then the guy takes freedom. I'll huff it too.
Oh yeah. So
and I get what they're doing. It's like the completely different approaches that all these different people have, and like Saw Gerrera basically accepting he's dead already. You might as well live while you're here. And I don't like the character of Saw Gerrera. I didn't like him in Rogue One. I don't like I think he's in Rebels at one point. I don't like it. It's just, he comes off as cringe as fuck to me. But I think a lot of people enjoy the character, I guess, from Rogue One. I don't know if they enjoyed. I liked some of the stuff in terms of how brutal he is. Like just fucking shooting that guy in the head after like predetermining he was going to be a traitor, right? But I don't know. I don't need Saw Gerrera. Fuck him.
There you go.
Fuck this show. Fuck this show. I'm not watching it. Fuck it.
Fuck Disney Star Wars.
I watched it. I can't even form an opinion on it because my brain will not concentrate on it. I can do 2 times speed, side monitor, I have something else playing. I cannot focus on this thing because I want to do anything else. I want to organize things, clean the house, go for a run, like 15 miles, anything but watch the pissing show.
It comes off as generic sci-fi with a Star Wars wrapper at times.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Right.
Again, the ISB stuff with Dedra and Cyril and the head guy, them setting all of this up and letting the Gorman steal that shit.
That's the shit I really like.
Yeah, the Empire stuff is good.
And hammer Gorman, like I love the Rebellion, Imperial Intelligence stuff that they present and those ideas. Sometimes they're well executed, sometimes they are not.
Right.
I think everybody's gonna fucking die. Like, I think Bix is probably going to die over the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, well, she's not in Rogue One, so I'm expecting her to die.
I think Dedra and Cyril are going to come to a bad end.
We'll see. Yeah. On
the enthusiasm of everybody talking about this show represents the show, dude. Nobody gives a fuck. Ryan, obviously, because he knows.
Well, it's like they have it's a good idea. It's poorly executed.
Ryan knows so much about Star Wars, so he can pick and choose. Like, oh, these things would be interesting based on this fucking EU book I read fucking 15 years ago. But like, it's just a boring fucking show. Nothing's happening. So. I mean, I watched the first because I heard about the big SA scene from last week, so I wanted to watch some of it.
You mean the rape scene?
I would never.
Can you phrase that slightly better, Jeremy? I heard about the rape, so I wanted to watch it.
Unlike you guys, I respect my friend. I respect my friend Gary's channel.
That is gay.
I think gay people should have a platform, and I don't want to take this show from him. So
hey. Did we report how many times we said it?
Well, how many times you said rape last week?
So I went to the transcript and hit Control F and typed in rape.
What type of script? What type of script?
The
transcript. The transcript. And I searched. It was 75 times.
Yeah. Damn rookie numbers they are.
I know. 75 times, and it's still green. And I was like,
you could say it.
We were talking about Star Wars.
It's really just how, from what my experience is, if a live stream goes on for 20-30 minutes, then you can kind of start talking about whatever you want for
not based on our previous things.
Well, it really depends, and there's no sense. Apparently, the AI is getting better, and it can. And this is bad, by the way. It can sense sarcasm and stuff like that. So
probably replaced words as well.
All my Shannon Sharp rape videos I made are fully monetized.
Well, hey,
also in that episode. There was no way we started after 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure we were like, hello, we're starting that. It just immediately
that's true.
went.
We were, when we were talking about rape, we kind of went in dry. We didn't we didn't lube it up or anything. We just kind of went right in. So
got a job to do and we did it.
Yeah, we didn't preheat the oven or anything. So we just stuck the meat right in. So
gave the meat and gave it to
preheat the oven. Preheat the oven.
Some would say we didn't even ask for permission.
There was no consent. I said wait till 30 minutes, and they didn't understand that no meant no, and they just kind of did their thing.
I thought no meant go.
It's in the definition.
Oh, we're all going to hell together.
Except for
At least we're going together.
Except for Odin.
Shad.
No, Shad's going to hell with me. He drank a soda. He had some coffee.
I'm good with
It's not like you're gonna drag him down. It's like he's going up. You're like, no,
I ain't going alone. Get over here, Mormon.
Odin did cruise looking for hookers with me in New Orleans, so he's probably
Correction,
going to.
you did.
Okay.
I was just there.
Is this when he got off the boat?
Dude, that was
won't stand up in court.
Where did I
that was
drive
one
to
of the
first,
fucking
Jeremy?
that was the funniest
To my
stream.
church.
I was like, where are the hookers, Odin?
Jeremy takes the Christian to hell. You know?
So many.
Jesus hung out with hookers and tax collectors.
Garrett, could you share that tweet I put in there?
Yeah, Garrett, I think about that every time.
So our good friend Wes from Thinking Critical posted this today. Marvel's new Juggernaut is Asian and gay. Nothing says unstoppable force like diversity bingo. And at this point, Marvel's not even subtle. They're just speed running self-parody. Can't wait for the D+ show. And he's not wrong. Hail Wes.
And he's a barista.
That's not a real,
He's a
that's not a
barista.
real comment.
Oh, like scroll down. Hello.
Wait, isn't he getting coffee?
Yeah. Call. What's this say? Hello. Call.
Smoffy.
Wait. Should I get my voice?
Smoffy?
Yeah, because it's a mixture of small coffee.
Smoffy.
Call Smoffy. I mean, small coffee coming right up, Noah. Coffee's here for you. Thanks. Ha 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 ha. Call Smoffy smooth. He hates me. Do you think he hates me? Comics are back, everybody.
I hate
He hates
That is
me. Don't you
retarded.
think he hates me?
They write what they know, and they know baristas.
Bring on AI.
Yeah, yes,
Oh.
and then gay.
Yes.
It's horrible.
Gay baristas.
AI would
baristas,
create something a lot more entertaining than this.
Good God. Yeah, that'll be flying off the shelf. How's everybody
Yeah,
doing?
into the
Right
bin.
into the trash can
Yeah.
To use
Right.
as a liner for a bird cage.
Yeah.
or a litter box.
I wouldn't do that to my poor birds.
Yeah, they got to read that.
Do you want to shit on some gay shit? No, thank you. I'd like some classical newspaper, please. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'd rather take a big old dump on that than I would something good. You know,
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
what
Yeah,
Vince
that's what
McMahon
it's
says.
for.
Are we back on Vince McMahon again?
No, we're not in the Rumble Hour yet.
Oh.
We're not in the Rumble Hour yet.
Just
the only-
imagine the Vince McMahon old man plus like a whole bunch of steroids and fucking protein powder shit.
Oh.
Like,
Thank you, Ryan, for that picture. We
Brock
appreciate
Lesnar
Didn't
fucking
need it.
cleaning it up with his
you
urine.
brought it up. Like, when you-
I did. I did. It's my fault.
not supposed to elaborate.
Of course you are. What else we got, Garrett? Should we save it for the Rumble Hour? Super
Yeah,
chats?
I was saving it for Rumble.
We'll save for the Rumble Hour. The Rumble Hour. Hey, how many people rated you on Geeks and Gamers Daily, Brian? From Crowder.
Like it jumped up. We had like 300 people watching. It jumped up to like 10,000.
Oh,
And by
shit.
the end, it was
Nice.
around the end. It was like 19.5, I think, because we were on the front
Whoa.
page there for a while. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Get on that front page. Does pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay was
Right.
like
Right,
got
Jeremy?
nervous, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I
Aw.
guess all my bitching, finally worked. So
Hey.
I don't know.
Quiet people change nothing, dude.
That's right. Just don't link Crowder. We appreciate it. Don't watch any of my clips on Cobra Cast about you.
Don't look into it.
I was talking.
It is cool. So
Just a man on
Before
another-
time. That's
I
all
was,
it is.
I was talking about that with Marvel. Mahler.
Mahler.
Like with certain family members and stuff, they're like, "Oh, you got a YouTube channel you want to check out?" I was talking to Graham Hancock's wife, and she's like, "You got a YouTube channel? Should I go check it out?" I'm all, "No, not really. You seem like a
What you
really,
talk about?
you seem
I
like a
that
really
question.
nice lady."
When I was on the plane, I usually try to avoid telling anyone like what I do.
Same.
Yes.
I'm very like I do stuff online, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Gay
but
porn.
I was
Just
on
say
a
you do
4-hour
something
flight to
faker.
Vegas, and there was this girl sitting next to me, and we were just talking, and it's like, "So what do you do?" I did the whole thing for a while, and then like hours later, finally, she was like asking me more specifics. Like, I make videos. I got a YouTube channel. She's like, oh, I should check it out. I'm like, please don't.
Bro, when we travel, I don't let the maids come in and clean the room because, like, if they would have done it in Vegas this year, it looks like I'm shooting porn in there. There's a camera set up, right around the bed, dude. It's like,
that's extra.
The way I describe my job either makes me sound like a big professional or I'm making porn. And so they ask me what I do. I'm like, well, I own a media production company that produces content for online distribution. And I don't know which way they could take that. So
you did
porn. They ask you,
butt stuff.
Yeah, and then they ask you, and then you're a little more vague, still vague, and they're like, "It's porn." He's not saying it's porn.
Like it's nerd stuff. I just say I edit videos online.
It's Mormon porn where it's like women churning butter. You know,
collars all the way up to the neck.
It's which way
sharp swords.
It's
Let's
which
see
way
how many
Western
children
man.
this woman's got. Oh,
Which way Western man? Racist
like
YouTuber or porno? Which one? Which percentage do you want them to have?
I'm in porn. I do porn.
As some people, you do porn.
Oh, what do you think he's doing right now?
Yeah,
that's the casting room.
I do
I Terry Chan clips to make us think that.
Bo Briscoe for $100. Hail Gary. Hail Az. Hail Shad. Hail Garrett. Hail the aging E-Thought. Hail Ryan. Hail Ian. Hail the lesbian. Hail the Asian DEI hire. Jeremy is still
gayer. More specific here, dude.
Am I the aging E-Thought?
Yeah, I thought.
I'm still working out who the E-Thought was.
Yeah, who's the aging E-Thought?
That's
Ryan.
I was gonna say I figured it was Chrissy, but I don't know.
Hey, you're still an E-Thought. You're just aging. It's okay.
Aren't we all aging?
You just move into MILF.
We're all it's not you can't unage. Unless we got a Black Forest supplements ad read here.
Nice one. Hail Snakebit, hail the 199, and hail the Fellowship. Love you, nerds. Keep kicking ass. Thank you very much. We will do that. We will do that. I will keep kicking ass, except when I'm not. And I'm relaxing. Which I have to do a lot these days because I'm fucking old. Griff Nizzle for 50. Finally, this fake Az shut the fuck up. Alpha Chad of Az Razor Fist is here. Any updates on Ghost of the Badlands 2? Oh, we didn't have a chance to ask him. Shit. Well, he got an artist, right? So he's
in production.
It's in production. It's in production. That first one was really good. Hail the Fellowship, except Az, since he's gay and dead. Are you dead?
Yeah, on the inside.
Okay.
Aren't we all?
That's why it's echoing. It's from the other
perfect for.
Yeah. It's the multiverse of Az's in here.
You know, I think if you put up like 2 more posters, it might soundproof that room a little bit better.
You know, like as. That's so low effort. You should have just let them blank.
You can't even see the poster.
I'll just chuck a poster up.
I've literally just been here a fucking week. All right.
A week? Yeah, that's plenty
You
of
look
time.
like you just got out of prison. You're trying to make your life better again. Like you're trying to build back up.
Gary could relate to that.
Yeah.
This is just the meme of. This is just the meme of men will live like this and see absolutely no problems, and it's just like a computer. And a
Dude, that was
yeah.
when I got out of prison. My parents gave me my room back for like a month, and I had a mattress, a fucking milk crate with my little prison black and white TV that I took out of there. That's what I had, and I was happy as fuck.
There was like a 1 month period where I was trying to sell my house, So I like cleared all my shit out and shipped it to California before I moved. And it was just me in there. I had a blow up mattress, a folding chair,
a blow up doll.
I thought you were going to say blow up doll.
Yeah. I wish that would have made things more interesting. I had my TV, my PlayStation, and that was it. So every day before I went to work, because they would show it during the day, I'd fucking fold all that stuff up and put it into one little closet. I live like a goddamn king. Dude.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
That sounds awesome, actually.
WG for 50. No love for Thunderbolts. The strong women characters, literally depressed characters, anti-Trump dialogue, and anticlimactic ending. Wait, what? Oh, my bad. I was just informed I'd confused this movie with something called Canadian Elections, as you were.
I'm going to become unimpeachable.
Oh.
There was a lot of impeachment talk. I
guess
there is.
We're stretching it at that point.
I mean, the impeachment was there because it was Trump impeachment. Let's fucking not pretend it wasn't, but it wasn't like as on the nose as it could have been.
I didn't take it that way at all. I'm always looking for a Trump angle so I could fucking make a video on it. But it
was there. It was
I didn't know if there were
at the point where anytime there's any sort of corrupt politician portrayed in media, that everyone goes directly towards a Trump allegory, whether you hate Trump or love Trump and want to defend him. And it's like,
yeah, I didn't take it that way. So
maybe just because it's in the zeitgeist.
Maybe.
It's true in your
Yeah,
face.
especially when it's in the zeitgeist by the company that owns fucking Disney ABC. Yeah. Totally in the zeitgeist. Completely fucking natural. Yeah, that it just ends up in a Marvel movie. What a coincidence. Lewis Hand for 46 Australian dollars. Hail, panel. Have any of you watched the series SAS Rogue Heroes? It's a 2022 drama series that follows the creation of the SAS during World War II. The series is completely free of modern politics. The men of the SAS are allowed to be unapologetically badass, and their British patriotism and their Christian beliefs are both treated with complete respect. Definitely doesn't feel like a show made in the modern era. Give it a look. I will.
That sounds badass.
That sounds.
Another SAS show was Ultimate Force. Quite old now by this point. It's like
That's
20
an
years old,
oldie,
but it's
yeah.
really good.
Ross Kemp?
So, Lewis, is that a British show? Is that a British show, I'm guessing?
Yes, the
SAS?
Brits are talking. They're communicating in their language.
We need subtitles.
Yeah.
We speak in the tongue of our peoples.
They also speak in the tongue of our people.
We
I don't know,
corrupt
please
it
fuck.
and bastardize it. Like, I don't know.
They try. They do. The colonies do their best.
Yeah, we've done all right. We've done all right. How's your country doing over there?
I don't know. I'm not in it.
Have fun.
I fucking left it.
Have fun. What? I don't know if it's real. I saw it on Twitter, so it has to be real, guys. There was a female British cop chewing out a guy for having too much cash in his pocket.
Oh yeah, over $1,000, and even though he had under $1,000, they still arrested him for drugs because they were embarrassed that they couldn't arrest him. So they just arrested him anyway.
Nice country you got there.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, they were
You're prosperous. Get in prison.
They have moved that way here. You used to be able to freely take a lot more money out of your ATM than you used to, and now they limit it because they are trying to curtail all the money laundering and drug dealing that the government allows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff over here where if you try and take cash out the bank, they will go, well, what do you want it for?
Yeah.
What have we got to do with you?
Doesn't matter, man.
If it's
Isn't
over,
it here too?
how much is the amount? No, it used to be over $5,000, but and they don't have it.
I think
By the
anything
way.
over 1,000 they could basically seize from you at this
Fucking
point.
ridiculous.
It's so stupid.
Well, yeah, that was the cops, the government seizing cash from people and not giving it back for a while, who weren't doing anything wrong, and it took them forever to get their fucking cash back. Yeah.
Well, that's how they were fucking funding a lot of this shit. Is
Yes.
by the civil forfeitures. It's ridiculous.
Dude, the gang and the government are no different.
Yes.
But keep your money in the bank where the bankers can steal it, please.
Yeah.
That's why the government wanted to take the mafia out. They were doing too good.
Yep.
They didn't like competition. You're right.
Nope.
They had more honor.
They
too.
never do.
Yeah. They had more. Now I want to watch The Godfather. Jeremy the Cyborg has donated, holy shit, $500. I like the cyborg version of Jeremy much better.
Says nothing.
Says nothing and walks away.
And big shout out to Jeremy the Cyborg, who Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago, he had a 199 sign that he had, and it did make it to
Oh,
TV.
no way.
Nice.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
well done.
Freaking
well
awesome.
done. We
Our
should.
worst nightmare.
I saw the Tim Pool billboard, and I'm like, we should totally do a billboard.
Oh yeah,
They're not that
That'd be cool.
expensive.
They're not that expensive, and we could do one that's pretty
How much
cringe.
are they?
What did you see
It would-
that?
all
would
of us
just be
riding
like-
on Az's back.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Friday Night Tights.
I like the superhero one where we're all superheroes. That one's wicked.
It would literally just be doing it for a meme. It would not help us in any way.
No, it
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.
It would be.
It's for the
It would
meme.
be purely for meme purposes. That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Get
and
them like
no,
you can get
and-
like a month for like $3,000 or something on
yeah,
there.
and we put it like in the middle of Hollywood. You know, like that's.
Oh. In the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
Somewhere where the Disney execs can.
Why
see.
not have a little fun.
Right across the street from Disney. That would be brilliant.
Yeah,
And
Warner
with-
Bros-
on the
your
bottom,
Warner Brothers run.
on the bottom, it will say #renew the acolyte. I promise you.
In brackets and Willow.
Yes.
And She-Hulk.
We funded one a long time ago. We funded a billboard that we put up right outside Lucasfilm talking about the Star Wars expanded universe. So
Yeah.
they saw it like on their way to and from work.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's possible. I'll look into it. Trevor N for 50.
What does the N stand for?
Depends how much money you want to make.
Nerdrotic. Arch did a video on the fart comic, and he read it. He did not like it. Well, I am really surprised.
Shocker.
Did he
Also, I
scratch and sniff though? That's the question.
yeah, Arch, did you scratch? You did, didn't you? What did it smell like?
I bet he did.
Just tell me, because I don't want to find out for myself. I understand he is finally coming on FNT later this month. He is, and he can describe in detail the scratch and sniff from the fart comic. My favorite creator on YouTube. Can't wait to see Shad on Archcast tomorrow. Keep on trucking.
Hell yeah. I'll be on Archcast. It's either tomorrow or that next week. Yeah, but soon.
Tomorrow or next week. There's a little difference between that.
Yeah, I'll confirm. I'll double check, but it's going to be fun.
Dave Chandler for $49.99. Imagine a reality where Disney Marvel had Bucky take up Cap's shield instead of Falcon. Would Captain America Brave New World have been a successful film? Well, that reality is in the comic books, Dave. There's a great run by Brubaker that pretty much does the whole Winter Soldier, plays it all the way through. And if they would have adapted that, yes, that movie would have done better. If Sebastian Stan, who was off a Best Actor nomination, and they just fucking threw him into a cameo and made him like a background character to the point where Yelena's the leader in Thunderbolts, but he's giving her advice in that post-credit scene. You notice that?
Mm-hmm.
He's like giving her a little advice, helping her be the leader. Why the fuck is she the leader?
So can you share my screen real quick, Garrett?
Yeah.
Because I just saw this as we went by. We were talking about how that second end credit scene seems like a little disconnected or whatever. Jake Schreier reveals he didn't direct the second post-credit scene of Thunderbolts. I was there when it was filmed. I can say that it comes from the set of a production that might be starting production right around now.
Wow.
Meaning
Holy
Avengers Doomsday.
shit.
So they shot it in a weekend and got it.
Just got shot.
Holy shit. So it was tagged on. Okay, thank you.
Like,
That's
that
why
had
their
to be in
costumes
the
look
last
like trash.
So who directed it? The Russo brothers?
Maybe.
I
Mm.
A
Oh my god!
yeah,
as you sound like you're in the fucking void. You went art. fucking just. Well. Look at
After
that.
seeing the movie, it's so funny to even see Taskmaster in the lineup. Like the character doesn't belong in that any promotional.
But you know
thing
what?
At all.
It doesn't say Nerdrotic says this is true. So
fake news.
Fake.
I did like. In one of the earlier posters, though, Taskmaster is the only one that doesn't have a weapon pointed at her, and she's the one that got shot. So they did basically tell everybody.
But they also showed off Ghost's powers and like how she could fucking kill anybody. Like she could just pop up right in front of you and
Run
shoot you in the
through
head.
Unless you coincidentally have like a speaker system on you, which apparently just stops all the powers
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah,
she
which is
tries.
like
Oh, that was made
by a Walkman.
That was made specifically for her, and they magically found the lone power source for that.
Power source, which was inside the same
own room.
It was like Sentry's kill switch. They were like, "Oh yeah, we've developed one. Oh, we threw it away. What should we do now? Make it again?"
Well, no,
Next thing it's just there.
So
that whole scene was just astronomically retarded. It's like, why did you make an incinerator that has like a 2-minute time? If you want to just put a bomb in there.
Well,
you know,
it was
And I
clearly
thought it
in
was
his.
funny they had the timer on the
It was
wall, too.
clearly in his
Literally
brain. It was clearly in his brain because you saw his eyes like get bloody from it, and it was something little thing in his brain.
But this guy's invincible. They never even explained how they.
Well, he wouldn't kill him. No, very hard to kill Sentry.
No, but how do
They
you
had to
even
throw
put
his
it
body
in
into
his
his
brain if
son.
you can't cut him?
You put it in there before you do the experiments. That would be the
Yeah,
theory.
that would be the theory.
Yeah.
This was after though, because they said they threw it out.
And Mel,
so
the
he'd already got
assistant,
his powers.
So Mel, the assistant, was like kind of like gonna betray her, and then she got her time out, and then she decided she wanted to be on her side. Don't know what the fuck that was about. Don't know what she went through in her timeout. Yeah,
I just wanted to see her and Bucky fuck. Like, I thought Bucky was gonna get some. I thought he was gonna give her that old metal finger. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
What that
Just-
metal finger do?
Hey, can he set his arm on vibrate?
Yes.
It spins around.
Bucky's sitting there fucking scrolling Instagram reels while his hand is just.
He can even remove it and just let
And then
it
he
be.
gets yelled at. You're not even walking.
Are you finished with the arm today, darling?
He's like,
in the
"Are you
washing
done?
machine.
Good. I gotta dry that thing off. It's gonna rust."
Stick it in the dishwasher again.
Chris Rose for $10 says, "Thank you, Fellowship and FNT crew. After 8 years, I'm officially not under my oncologist care." Okay, you're throwing in big words for me,
baby.
That's fucking awesome. Y'all helped me beat cancer twice, and I'll never forget the laughter and
You did
support
that, bro.
at my lowest.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you did that, brother. So
We did nothing, but thank you.
we did nothing. You did it all. You're a badass.
That's awesome.
That's fucking brilliant. Fuck cancer, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
In the pooper.
Right in the pooper. Fan Y.
Or the ear.
Or the ear? Yeah, I wouldn't want to get ear cancer, or otherwise known as Bon Jovi.
Hey.
Oh my God. Was it Hulu announced that they're going to do a Bon Jovi biopic? And I was like,
Yeah.
God, fuck.
Why?
And then they,
All right,
like the next
Gary.
week, they announce a fucking Bruce Springsteen biopic. And I'm like, good God.
Gary, you have to answer Bon Jovi or Green Day.
Oof.
I take Bon Jovi every day, bro. That's not even close.
Green Day.
No,
At
Green Day.
least Green Day has Dookie. I like Dookie.
Dookie's great.
Fuck them both. You know what? Bon Jovi's more punk rock than Green Day.
You're not wrong.
Fuck Green Day got a
Not
fucking
I
star on
saw
the
your
fucking
comment.
walk
I saw
of
your
fucking
comment.
fame
Yeah.
today. Nothing says punk rock by having your own fucking Slurpee at 7-Eleven
Here's
and
what I would
raging
say.
for the machine. You never a fucking thing to say about, punk rock talk shit about both administrations. Never have a thing to say about Biden or anybody. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Wonder why.
But just like outside of the music, like Billy Joe is just so much more insufferable than John Bon Jovi. Like he is such an insufferable piece of shit.
Well, he's a
I like
feminist.
Green Day
He
as a
explains
band, but
everything.
I can't stand them as people. I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
I fucking hate their guts. Truly hate them.
Fucking Berkeley punk rock sucks. You heard me. It's all fucking hippie commie punk. That's what it is. Not all. There's a couple bands that are all right from there, but yeah. DRI.
I just wanted to get Gary all worked up.
Set up fucking super chat did it, didn't it?
I like DRI. I like DRI. They're from Berkeley. Okay. Gene the Revenant.
You should be a member of the Thunderbolts, mate, with that fucking concept.
Oh, I'm not fucking sad. Fuck them. They're a fucking joke. Green Day is a fucking joke. They're poser punks. They're poser corporate 90 punk fucking hot topic bullshit. They fucking suck. They've always fucking sucked.
Keep going.
Listen to the fucking Ramones. You want to fucking lesson? Go listen to the fucking Misfits who called them out at Coachella, by the way. Fucking
Nice.
Danzig called called him out on the show. He's like, you're not here to hear any fucking woke punk. Here we go.
Gary prefers real punk rock like Good Charlotte. Okay,
get the
yeah.
I'd rather listen to them in Green Day.
Good Charlotte. Oh my God.
God. But yeah, did you hear that? That Danzig went out because Green Day played earlier. So Danzig and the Misfits come out and go, yeah, we're not going to do any woke punk here.
Nice.
Hail Danzig. I got to meet him, and yes, he is incredibly based. So hail Danzig. Gene the Revenant for $5 says, nice to see that you guys pulled Az from the grave to rejoin the panel. FNT finally has some undead representation.
Indeed.
We are officially necrophiliacs. TJ Jordan for $2.
Well, we've been fucking this corpse for years now.
I mean, not as bad as Disney, but you know. TJ Jordan for $2. Welcome back to the land of the living, Az. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Lazarus. Lazarus. Get out of here.
It's only 10 months. What are you giving it?
Fan Y for 200 Swedish krona says, hello. Last Saturday, me and my cousin got to see Revenge of the Sith on the big screen, and my cousin, who had never seen a Star Wars movie, said she loved it too. It goes to show movies were better even back then.
Good on the big screen. Good on the big screen.
And they took it out. They took it out of the theaters because they didn't want it to compete with the fucking Thunderbolts. And May the 4th, the fake Star Wars Day has come. Maybe they could put it back in on the real Star Wars Day, Ryan, which is not May the 4th.
Isn't Lilo and Stitch coming out that weekend, though?
I think it is. Yeah.
Like, I think that's why they, and it's not like, I also just want to make this clear because there's a lot of people that are like, they pulled it because they're scared about it. And it's like, it was always announced this way. It was announced this way months ago. It was only going to be there a week. Maybe that was one of their things when they put it there, that they didn't want it to potentially take away from it. But some people are reporting or acting as if they made the decision to pull it
after
now
it was
doing
successful.
well.
Yeah.
Like,
No. I think they planned it just for, and they didn't want it to step on Thunderbolts, and maybe they thought better of it. You could actually have both movies in the theater, and it wouldn't affected either fucking one at all. And it was doing really well at the box office. The per theater average was fucking insane.
Yeah, for a re-release, it was doing insanely well.
Yeah,
there's a ton of people in the movie theater when I watched it.
You factor in the inflation, numbers, and it wouldn't. But as it stands, it was ahead of, special edition release of Empire and Return of the Jedi, right, on that opening weekend. With inflation factored in, those probably outdo this Revenge of the Sith. But I think it just goes to show that people are still interested in watching that movie and movies that they love. If you put it back out in theaters, they will show up in droves sometimes.
It also shows that as much as Disney Star Wars sucks, there is a desire for Star Wars,
Absolutely.
real Star Wars. And there
100%.
always will be. As long as we're alive, there's going to be a desire for Star Wars, but
it's going to
Disney
dwindle.
Star Wars sucks. Disney Star Wars is bad.
Like there's still a desire for good Star Trek out there. I mean, it'll age out, but you're right. There's what George did, whether I liked him or not, was captured another generation of Star Wars fans with the prequels, which is
and that's
unbelievable.
That's why the Force Awakens it was so successful, and it just shows you how monumentally bad Disney's handling of this was. The Force Awakens, I think it almost made $1 billion domestically.
Yes.
It's the highest grossing movie domestically by far. It obviously made $2 billion worldwide total, but you had two generations of Star Wars fans coming together, and then you had another new generation potentially that was going to be there, and Disney has fucked all of that.
It was
goodwill up.
clickbait.
Go ahead, Ryan.
What do you guys think? I was going to say real quick, what do you guys think about the next generation? Do you think it'll have that kind of, the prequels had us that watched it? I was 9, 10 when the first movies came out. I was that perfect age. And it means something to me. I love the original trilogy much more, but I do love those movies. Do you think that'll happen again for the Disney stuff? I don't.
Oh, absolutely not.
My kids aren't watching any of that now. And what's weird is like they're kind of childhood shows now are going to be like Dr.
YouTubers.
Stone and
No, they're fucking
Demon
YouTubers.
Slayer, anime and stuff.
Demon Slayer, yeah.
They're gonna
Demon
have
Slayer's good.
they're gonna have nostalgia for PewDiePie and fucking
Yeah.
Dan TDM. That's what they're gonna have. That's it. Or TikTok. Sadly.
Yeah.
And by
Ryan,
the
you were
way,
going to say
PewDiePie's
something?
PewDiePie's the greatest YouTuber of all time, by the way.
I like
He
it.
won it the right way.
He
He
won
won.
YouTube.
He won. He won.
Yeah,
He
he
walked
did.
away with a wife and a kid.
Yep.
Living a dream. You were going to say something?
Hey, he's
Ryan?
just put out a
Yeah,
Linux
Ryan.
video, dude.
And he said the N-word. So I mean, he won. So-
Took his
Where his money
250
came from.
grand and got out of there.
That's what Jeremy's focusing on. It's like, okay, if you say the N word, leads to success.
That's right. Million dollar signs.
I was there during the YouTube Israeli and Palestinian conflict. It was
God. Ryan, you were going to say something?
I just couldn't remember. I felt like when Endgame came out, it might have been like the opening weekend number or something, but I still think Force Awakens is the biggest overall run domestically. Like at 900 and
900 and
something.
something.
Odin?
It's absolutely retarded.
But
not
don't-
opening. No, he means just
Odin? Box office guy?
Oh, no, he's,
Anything?
He's not here. He's
yeah,
not
he's
here.
not. He's not here. He's the only one with kids on the panel. So
Yeah.
he's
Has
good.
he said
Yeah,
a word? No, seriously, I'm not even kidding. Has
Yes,
he
he
actually
has.
said
He said some
okay.
stuff a few times.
Okay.
He did. And, but his mic was also
Oh, hang on.
significantly low, so it was tough to hear.
Oh, you didn't hear.
Especially over you guys screaming at each other.
I reread the Revenge of the Sith novelization this week as well.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's been a while. That is such a fucking phenomenal book.
Yep.
Every Star Wars fan, whether you care about actually reading the other books or not, everyone should read that.
That
book.
is my favorite Star Wars book.
Because
Yeah,
it does
very
such
good.
a great job of encapsulating all of the things that are going on, the things that you can't see on the screen, the things that these characters are thinking at these moments. It's phenomenal.
Yep.
Back to your point, though. So you're talking about opening weekend, right? Endgame is the biggest opening weekend, I think.
I believe so,
Yeah.
and it may have taken over from because I vividly remember in my head this tweet from Star Wars.
I feel like Infinity War
Rey
broke.
handing a lightsaber to like an Iron Man hand.
I
or
think that was
something.
Infinity War that broke Force Awakens record, and then Endgame broke
Maybe.
Infinity War. I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that may have been the order of operations.
Wow.
There. But I think
Are-
overall the run itself, it's still Force Awakens.
We are a
Yeah, in terms of
long way
domestically.
from that.
Yeah, we
Now,
are.
now we're talking about it's a win that Thunderbolts was mid,
What-
and it's going to make a couple dollars.
It's a breath of fresh air, Gary. Didn't
Have
you
you seen-
hear?
Had a decent preview night, 11 point something million.
But hold on, here's the thing though. That's how it's being presented. Has a great preview night. It's less than Captain America Brave New World
Yes.
when they just let us through this cycle of fucking retardation
Yes.
to gaslight you into thinking it was impressive, and then it went on to be a massive fucking failure. And now 3 months later, we have something coming out that's less than that, and they're like, impressive preview night.
No,
It's not.
dude,
It's not
no.
impressive.
The world is a goldfish. Okay, and like that's the
Turn
thing.
them around.
So the thing is, I mean, in context, no massive reshoots, no controversy, and it didn't have like a $400 million budget. Thunderbolt still had a $200 million budget. So to your point, Ryan, it has a break-even point of what Disney lied about with Captain African American. It has to make $425
About
million,
450.
450
That's
worldwide.
still bullshit. It still has
Yes.
to make more than that.
It does. It does.
But yeah.
We broke down the math, and internationally, it's like it's not doing well in China, which rhymes with vagina, by the way.
There's a new Thunderbolts article. I've just put it in the chat where it's talking about how the director explains the cold-blooded death of Taskmaster, and it says it felt like we needed to take a swing so that you didn't know who was going to make it, and it's like, well, everybody, which is a weird thing to do. And then further down, it says, coming out of the strike we were about to shoot, and we got shut down. It gave us some time to step back from the movie. So once it was over, it felt like the movie was bloodless. And it turns out they were about to shoot and decided to kill Taskmaster. So they hired this actress and then just fired her as soon as they were about to start shooting.
Dude, and I'm happy about that because that character was such dog shit from Black Widow.
You know
They
what's
should have killed
hilarious?
Ghost too.
They didn't even need to hire the actress. Like Taskmaster takes off the mask for literally the most pointless kind of "here's my face" moment.
Yes.
And then it's back on. And
Remember,
they
I'm a
didn't need
woman.
Well,
She's like,
did they
"Get
have
out
to
of my
pay
way."
her? Did they have to pay her? Because presumably she was under contract by this point because they were about to start shooting.
She probably got the minimum, and good for her for getting that. But to Az's
For
point,
one fucking line she gets.
If you didn't want to make this movie bloodless, like keep some of the people dead that the Void, essentially didn't erase.
If that kid had died, and then that would have been that would have been such an impactful thing.
Yes. And it got erased.
And give Bob actually some more deeper conflict. Like, if they went the full-blown thing where the Void was like this kaiju monster that leveled a couple of buildings that you just can't instantly magic back, everyone's alive again, that would have had a much massive deeper impact on him about the, implication of his power and if he loses control, what'll that happen? And that'll make him hesitant to be the Sentry again, which means... because now if he can just adopt Sentry whenever he wants, Marvel, all the heroes have an instant defeat villain card. The Sentry should be able to just come in there and wipe them out. But then they're just going to mess it up.
No, that's the second thing in a row. Like, again, with Daredevil and Thunderbolts, both things just stopped. They didn't end. They just stopped. It's like, time to go now. It's like, I feel like I watched 2/3 of a movie, and half of it was getting out of that vault. Half the fucking movie.
I actually thought the whole movie was pretty much going to be done in there, apart from the end sequence when they get out to go to wherever, New York or wherever. Because it was just going on for fucking ever in there.
There's a quote in this which said
bad.
There's a quote in this
half
which says
the movie wasn't in the fucking vault. It wasn't even near.
It was 48 minutes when they got out. It was 48 minutes when they got out.
Right, but they didn't start in the vault.
No, there's about 5 to 7 minutes that aren't in the vault. Then they end up in the vault for like a half an hour, dude. It's like a large portion of the movie. And halfway they escape. Then there's the fucking chase scene. Then they make it to New York. Then there's Sentry, and then darkness, and then it ends.
It does end
everything
abruptly. It very abruptly ends.
I don't mind that it's 2 locations. Like, I'm fine. I'm tired of these superhero movies where they're like,
I agree.
Budapest, this place, that place, London, New York. I'm like, I'm fine with the two locations. I do think it kind of went on a little bit too long inside of the vault, but I don't think it's a gripe.
That's what Razor was talking about before. Like this is their attempt to change. This is their legit attempt to change. They're trying to chop these things up. I talked about it with Steve Deese. We went into Snow White and Captain America were both reactions to knowing that woke Hollywood is dead, and they tried to fix these things on the fly, and we get these Frankenstein projects that are not as bad, which means there is a worse version of Captain African American out there and Snow White, which I'd love to see, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I want to see those too.
And who knows what that really was. The strike provided a lot of opportunities to fix things, and nobody took the opportunity to actually fix. And Daredevil's the same way too. That got chopped up too after the strike, after there was given an opportunity. By the way, multiple articles have been written this week. We can't get into it. Maybe we'll get to it in Rumble Hour. Multiple articles have been written about Hollywood turning into Detroit. Work is down 40%. Ticket sales are still despite we had a good domestic weekend with Sinners overperforming. But
Sinners, Revenge of the Sith,
Minecraft had this great weekend that was a drop in the ocean, which they are so far behind right now. Snacks for $2 says family back together for now. TJ Jordan for $10 says did I read this already? Okay, no, I haven't.
No.
I just have to check. My memory's not very good. TJ Jordan for $10 says, going to see Revenge of the Sith again brought back memories of my grandpa taking me to see it in 2005. It made me long for those childhood days. The lesson I took from the rewatch was to enjoy my time with my grandpa while I still can. It's more than what I got out of Disney Star Wars in 10 years. Absolutely. Hang out with your fam.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Unless you're DSP, in which case, fuck them and let them die.
Okay.
Wait.
Because some YouTube personality depends on the family.
Pretend.
How old are you doing it?
Pretend that most of us don't hang on the whole DSP drama, like at all.
Like Chris,
maybe a lead into that.
He gifted a membership
on the table.
I got.
He said that he needed to go back and see his parents because his parents are and they're not doing well. They're just about to pretty much drop. They've been dying now for 7 years, and
so have I.
and so
we're dying for the rest of our lives. As
he had this holiday plan to go see them one last time.
Oh yeah.
But then Kino Casino fucking did him one, and now he's sticking it to Kino Casino by letting his parents die alone and not going to see them.
What?
I'll teach him.
You know. It's just not a part of the internet I go to very much. You know?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I got gifted a membership to DSP Gaming.
You did?
which is wild because I have not
Rich, you were watching it.
I am subscribed to him, but I haven't tuned in to why. And every once in a while, when he's going through something fucking wild, I might tune in just see his response. But I don't think I've watched that channel in a year. So that just tells you that sometimes those gifted memberships will just get handed out like fucking candy to anyone that's subscribed.
Yeah.
His Nintendo Switch journey was the greatest thing I've ever seen. He doxed himself.
Yes.
And his order number.
To be honest, everybody knows that out there that wants to know it. Yeah.
No, I know, but it's just it's the thing of putting it on there and then showing you don't care and then having your order number, your full name. He got
the last 4 digits of your credit card.
The thing you don't want to fucking listen. I don't care if your address is out there. The thing you don't want to bump is your fucking address.
Exactly.
It's a lot. If it gets out there and if time passes, don't remind everybody.
The thing is though, Ryan and Az could probably speak better to this than me but the thing about it, it's such a thing with him. All of his information is out there. It's been ran through more times than Disney Star Wars at this point.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And the funny thing about it is the entire reason he showed it was one to say, hey, I got it. But also because he probably knows so many people think he's lying about everything. He doesn't need to show it that he's putting that money that he raised towards it.
This is DSP. I need that money. I have no money. This is DSP. The next stream, I can afford 2
He
switches.
will outlive us all. That is just a fucking fact.
I don't know.
Well, cockroaches
I think
tend to
he
do
might
that.
have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew this time.
We keep saying that, and he's still around.
It is great. All right, I'm gonna take.
Casino always wins, dude. Casino always wins.
Casino always wins. I love Kino Casino. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll see you on Cobra Cast. Bye, everybody.
Cobra Cast later.
Later.
See you on the boat.
Oh, Tennessee. I didn't even think you could swim.
Jeremy swims in Crocs. He's from Florida. Of course he can swim. He's got a pool. He can swim. He records his videos in a pool house.
Holy shit.
I'm genuinely interested. What were you thinking when we started talking about the Indians speaking, coming in? And,
yeah, the ads.
I'll ask that question, but when the cameras are off.
Well, we wouldn't want to interrupt any of Az's, fucking internet surfing time, to use an old phrase.
It's all right.
During a stream.
Shopping. I'm fine. I'm doing some shopping. I'm okay.
No, hey, dude, I do it too. When you guys start talking about games, eBay. Let's see. TJ Jordan for $5. It took wasting 5 years and 2 phases to finally gather together the bottom of the barrel recruits of the new Avengers. Great planning, Marvel. You have to watch a lot of homework. Imagine not watching any Disney Plus show and they're like, who's John Walker?
That's basically me. I hadn't seen him, Ghost. I'd seen Yelena, but
I just
she doesn't really have much of a character to describe in the first place.
I think more people have seen Ghost and don't remember her at all.
Yeah, like a ghost.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't a very memorable villain. Let's be honest.
Well, she wasn't a villain.
Was she a villain? I don't even know what the fuck she
was.
was.
Misunderstood because she was an allegory for being held down by the patriarchy. Like Ryan, how many times did she even mess her past trauma? She says, "I was enslaved in a box" or something like that.
What are we talking about?
Is her dad?
Thunderbolts, Ghost. Yeah. Remember Ghost? Remember? No.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne's her dad, I think.
I feel like
Black Goliath.
I feel like in this movie specifically, we didn't get too much Ghost at all.
No.
Like in terms of the backstory, we didn't really get barely any lines from her.
Facial expressions. We got facial expressions.
And putting men down.
And, I mean,
that's all the lines were.
And I mean, like any kind of meaningful dialogue as opposed to just like, I've never been able to phase for more than a minute at a time, like type of thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Craig Long for $49.99 says, "Hey all, anyone ever watched the 2009 British TV show Misfits?" Yes.
Yes.
Much better sci-fi superhero movie show, than any slop that's out now. Misfits is good.
That is a great show. Go watch it.
We were watching it and discussing it at the comic shop that I used to own that I never mentioned.
I watched it as it came out.
What?
Yeah.
Ramsey Bolton's in it.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Oh, from 2009. Okay.
How are you watching
go watch
it?
it. It's really good,
What was it on? How in the
it was on. Maybe I watched it at.
I was watching it on burned discs. Customers would bring it in on me on a burned disc.
Wasn't it on like BBC America?
It was on BBC America.
It's a Channel 4 show.
Yeah, Channel 4. Yeah.
Well, it was on. Well, they had the British channel over here that they would get all
BBC
the
America and PBS is where we watched all of our BBC stuff.
Maybe it was PBS. I can't remember how I watched it.
I'm pretty sure it was BBC America because I know that my wife watched that show and I caught a few episodes.
They used to show more like BBC stuff on BBC America, and then it just turned into Star Trek: The Next Generation reruns, Top Gun reruns, and Doctor Who reruns. That was it.
Yeah.
Also,
which wasn't
Klaus
bad.
is in it.
Yeah.
Nice. Got
Good
the
show.
downloading
Umbrella
now. I'll check those out later.
Good show. Aegon the Base for 125 Martian pesos. Wish I had a cup of 1775 coffee while watching this and Mobland. Thanks for the recommendation. Nothing else ethnically cleanses my bowels as thoroughly. Hell yeah. Mobland is fucking great. Watched it yet?
No, but I will.
Okay, when?
Monday. I'm going to catch up on Monday.
You're going to have to watch 6 episodes.
No, I'm not. I'm going to...
You're going to watch 6 episodes.
No, I'm not.
He's got a nice echo that's going to help him.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's an empty room, Odin!
No, there's 2
I'm not one to
posters in
speak
there,
because my
liar.
room almost has notoriously always been very
Yeah,
empty.
I know, Odin. All the sound in your room gets absorbed by all the children. I get it. I'm
sorry. Because that's what children do. They soak up sound. They don't.
Yeah,
make
they
sound.
never
Just like chained to his radiator.
Who here has seen Mobland?
Only the
first
episode.
Three episodes in it.
What are you thinking, Ryan? How you liking it?
I like it.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
like it a lot. I don't think it's like groundbreaking.
No.
or a masterpiece. It's fun. It's got characters that you care about. I think that Tom Hardy does a great job. Pierce Brosnan is awesome.
Yes.
Helen Mirren's good. Yeah.
Oh man, she is. She's really
a nasty bitch.
She
dude.
is
Yeah.
a nasty bitch, and it gets worse. And they've got a character that's like Joffrey Baratheon in there. Like it's like the close. I mean, he's not as bad, but the closest thing to like a character that you love to absolutely fucking hate. Like he's terrible. You want him to die, but like
grandson.
Yeah, the
You need
grandson,
him.
Eddie. Eddie, you need him. He's such a shit. He's such a fucking shit. But it's a good show. It is a good show. Ryan's right. Like it's just fun. It's the best cast on TV right now, like by far. Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hardy, and Patty Considine. So like, yeah, they're fucking great in it.
Yeah, not every show needs to be groundbreaking.
No, it just needs to be
It just
good.
needs to be good.
Guy Ritchie
Guy Ritchie.
directs most of the episodes and produces it, and it's very Guy Ritchie.
That's good.
Not as slick or as fun as The Gentleman, but it's performance wise, it's getting as good. It's getting there. So it's on Paramount Plus. Highly recommend it. Doc Hollywood has donated $50 and asks something I should have brought up. Book update. I have a book update. I do. So the specs are in. My publisher is in communication with the people at the Rippaverse, and we should have an announcement is imminent. Just got to work some stuff out. And honestly, I'm not involved in any of that discussion, so that's probably why it's moving forward faster. To be honest with you, I have been the one fucking holding it up most of the time. So just to let you know, it was me. Well, I have to do a channel. I have a lot of stuff to do. You know, like
speaking of holding up,
they got to blow up all those documents too to be large enough for you to see.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, you basically have a word on a page. So it's like a children's book.
A word a day.
What do you need to go as?
When you start the Rumble hour, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to start in a few minutes.
Okay. I'll stick around till then.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Us with your presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could come back next week.
I guess.
Gary Jones for €2 says, so if Az is back, does Disparu lose his spot? Yes.
No.
He just didn't leave. He just didn't leave.
I just turned up.
He just fucking turned up.
All right, sorry, Disparu, you gotta go.
No.
That's how it is.
They cut off all the lesbian hair and everything. Come on.
No, we need our.
I've got to go.
No, we need our lesbian representation. We do. Silver Scorpio for $10 says, "Hail FNT. I've always wanted to ask you: have any of you seen the indie animation project on YouTube? I like Monkey Wrench. Looking forward to Lackadaisy, and the Lackadaisy, and the Gaslight District looks promising. So, is it just called? I mean, are those the names of the? Is it a channel, and those are separate? So there's Monkey Wrench, Lackadaisy, and the Gaslight District. I'll check them out. No, I haven't. I haven't seen them.
Speaking of YouTube animation projects, if you haven't watched Space King, it's freaking brilliant. It's a parody of Warhammer, and it's animated, hand animated by the channel. It's so good. Go check it out. Space King.
Dude, I have a Warhammer shop right near me. Like within a couple 3 miles. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Me and Ian.
Right in a couple. Wow.
Me and Ian were out shopping for Melissa. Yeah,
we got Necrons.
We got ammunition for Melissa.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just along for the ride. I didn't do anything. I was just there.
Is that your defense in court?
Yes. I could just say I was young and I didn't know what I was doing, like everybody can do now, and I can get a $400,000 GoFundMe for being completely guilty. And it was racism. I'll find a way to make it racism.
Yeah.
Joseph 91 Salazar for $4.99. John Walker would be a better Captain America than Sam. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be more complex.
Yeah, he actually would.
Yeah.
Oh, much more complex.
But he wouldn't be as black, and that's
the problem.
Still some, ignoring his child, shit like that, but not
dad stuff.
No.
He's a better actor. He is. He's
True.
a better actor.
Got good genes.
That was
good
good
genes.
actors being fucking wasted.
Good khakis too.
There you go. How do I say this name? Nagardnal.
Say it slow.
No, for $10. Welcome back, Az. I'm just going to move past that one. The Masterpiece for €10. The chat's going to be so fast, no one will notice me coming out as Jeremy. Well, that's the best time to come out. Well, just come out anyway, as you are. We don't judge. We don't judge you here too harshly. I mean, we judge everybody, but equally.
ETJ.
Yeah.
Kill Gannon 84 for $2 says, shit, it's that dead guy. Yeah, he's back. He's back. And we'll get one more before we run over to Rumble. We will get the rest on Monday morning on Rumble and Nerdrotic Live. Nerdrotic Live, which will remain Nerdrotic Live for a couple more months. And then there'll be some changes.
Nerdrotic dead?
That's actually a good idea.
Are you trying to tell us something, Gary?
Be Nerdrotic girl.
After the transition.
No, it's Forbidden Frontier. It's turning into Forbidden Frontier.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We got some big plans. We'll see if they come to fruition. Best laid plans of mice and men.
I just want to see the alfalfa.
Mark Klein for $10 says, "Hey, all at Disney Star Wars night, they are selling an exclusive Pandora bracelet charm depicting Leia and R2 with the words beep bop boop. Is someone trolling Gina or the corporate overlords? That has to be third party. There's no way. That would be fucking hilarious."
That is funny.
Gina's trolling them by fucking suing them, and every time they tried to roadblock her, it gets fucking shot down by LA judges, by the way.
That's hilarious.
By Democrat female LA judges. So I'm thinking they're in a little trouble. Plus, she's got Elon's lawyers who are probably pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bigger, Elon's entire worth.
Considering how much child support they probably got him out of.
Jesus. They are the best lawyers on Earth and Mars put together.
Hey.
There you go. There you go. All right. We're going to wrap it up there. Thanks, everyone. Again, we'll get the square up on Monday morning at 11 a.m. Central, Nerdrotic Live and Rumble. And if you're watching on Rumble, we will continue on for another hour. As we'll say goodbye.
Great being back.
God, your audio.
Your audio is shit.
I was expecting more.
It's like, God, when you're in an echoey room, you get closer to the microphone. You don't get farther away from the fucking microphone. Nobody knows that. God, jeez. Thanks, everybody on YouTube. Are we still on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for all the Modrotics and all the super chats and donations. You help keep the lights on. I'd ask X-Ray Girl who we have next week, but I know who we have next week.
Oh, who do we have next week then?
Az, right?
And Archcast.
Oh, he's next week. There you go. Yeah, finally. Actually, people have been requesting him for about 5 years, and I just suck. So I'll apologize to him. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to keep watching, come on over to Rumble.
Peace out.
Probably late. Oh, Friday night times.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Dame, dame.